There we go. Let's turn off the other music that we have playing here. I don't need that anymore. All right. Let's see. I don't know where's a good spot to be talking about stuff. I know we used to use Lakuza's Lounge, but I'm concerned about DMCA stuff. And I'm not sure it's a good spot for this. People are gonna keep loading in here, so I might as well. But this is a lounging spot right here. Hi, chat. Hello. I'm just trying to find a nice. I gotta think of a good location. I gotta think of a good location for just lounging around and whatnot. The problem is that it's a nice lounge, but the problem is that people are going to load in. They're going to load it in front of me and stuff like that. And that's a little distracting when I'm trying to like read stuff and whatnot. Could do something like, you know, talking here. You know what? I suppose this can kind of work. This can kind of work. Let's see. All right. All right. So, how's this look? How's this work? I suppose that that could work. All right. Yeah, basically, we're doing some chill talk. Hold on. Before I do some chill talk, I need to check to see how the avatar looks like so far. Let's see, how's this look so far? Hi. What? What? Oh, this is this. Oh God! Oh God! What happened to me? I don't know what happened there. Let me fix that real quick. Dear God. Why? Ah. All right. Let's not think about what just happened there. It was a scary thing. We're not gonna think about it. We're not gonna worry about it. Yes, we're not gonna worry about it. We're not gonna think about it. Okay. You don't need to worry about it. It was a horrifying thing that no one needs to know about. No one needs to know about that. Okay, let me continue setting up my stuff.
Oh, yeah. I didn't tell you about the retractable kidney thing, did I? Sorry about that.
That was more of a problem with the face, not with the... You know what? I'll let you see it. I'll let you see it. I will let you
something else. What happened? What did you do? Let's get a good look at you, boy. These presenting you as if it's a game. No, that's not horrible. That's amazing. I love that. That's that has happened to me several times. I'm not even kidding. You didn't make the correct libation. You poured sub-quality wine in your PC's cooler. The spirit that resides over it's gotten a bit...
Speedy, it's for the best if you guys don't get a good look at it.
Rest assured,
BWC took a
Whatever you
picture though,
think it is in
probably.
your head will be entertaining. Just as entertaining as it. Whatever you think it was.
Alright, let's see how it looks like now.
Also, I'm 90% sure B's gonna upload it, so don't worry.
What the heck? Why is this face still messed up?
Could it be possible?
Oh, there you go.
that
It's fixed.
there
It's fixed now.
is some
It's fixed now.
shape- Okay.
There we go. Alright.
I gotta give you a test that I'm giving to all the police characters now. One moment.
Unfortunately, I have no expressions. It's all simply just like this is almost as raw as you can get. Let's see. How do I?
Sit still, I'm giving you the test. Yep, you passed.
Okay.
Kind
Oh
of
god,
the
these
unofficial
shoulder
physical test
things.
I'm giving people.
Okay.
If I said two, what's my get would be?
Just. Do I look slouched over? No, I'm fine. All right, now I need to do one more test. I need to sit down. I need to sit down and see how it's like when I'm just kind of laying,
Ow.
just sitting down. Okay, sitting down, fine-ish so far. So far, so good. All right, let's see what happens when I lay down. Okay,
Ah, shit,
I am not.
it's Twilight.
I am not seeing myself through my
How you doing, man?
through my chest or my eyes.
Fine. You. That-
Yeah, just leave that open if I hear it
All right.
too much. I'm gonna
Or my eyes.
open some arteries.
Fair enough.
I know usually.
Oh snap! It's in the right place. It's in the right place. Nice.
Not today.
I still feel like really lanky though. This
I've gotten my medication.
Lanky, but-
despite my pharmacy.
hand's still kind of. Whatever. Oh wait, hold on. Gotta do the last test here. How much is this is covering my face? A good amount, I guess.
The only test you passed the only test that matters, Kirby, and that test is can Ave hide behind you.
Oh my god.
You look like a pirate.
He kind of does.
I mean, yes, bandanas does make people look like pirates and stuff. So
It's not just the bandana. It's also you got the ragged swashbuckling aesthetic. Or not ragged,
Oh
rugged,
no, I
rugged.
got my hips sway a lot when I just swing my arms. Oh, whatever.
What?
I've been trying to figure out how to get the bone positions
You're
to
not
be.
gonna-
I'm trying to get my bone positions in the right way so that like I can just like swing my arms from side to side without having my hips going like
Shit,
this.
That's really
Ah, you have a
good.
casual form.
Now it's complete.
I don't have any expressions
Oh,
just
nice.
yet. I don't have expressions just yet, but
Hmm.
so
I see.
there we go. I gotta stand up straight or something like that. Do I want to? I feel it still something feels a little off. Like
Oh wait. Oh, that's cool.
I don't know.
Just feel off.
I don't know. I'm not really sure, but
Beautiful.
so
Yeah, it works.
yes.
It really works.
Quite.
Oh, that's powerful.
Ah. Yar.
The ability to just place things anywhere is going to be an incredibly powerful tool.
Yar.
It is.
Avast.
Now
Oh
you
wait.
love a pirate.
Okay. All right. So.
Well, the other
Why
thing I
is the
noticed
rum
was I
gone?
see the police. There's still police on it, and it's floating on you.
Oh, it's floating on me. Oh shoot. We'll just say it's a
Yeah.
hologram. Let's just say it's a hologram or something like that. I don't know. Doesn't look like it's floating. Oh yeah, I
look
see it
at
now.
from
I
the
see it now.
side.
I see it now. Yep. I'm trying to figure out how to. I'm trying to figure out how to word this without like it being taken out of context. Now that you made me aware of it, how to say this?
No, please say it out of context.
Please do. It
I'm
can go
curious,
best
okay.
ways.
There we go.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god, Shadow. It was like, what was it? It was something along the lines like, all right, Harmony, get up. If they won't let me sleep in, I'm not gonna let you sleep.
You disappoint me. That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be way worse.
Fortunately, I'm already dead.
I was, yeah, from how of a big deal that was being
Hey,
made.
it's the
into,
friggin'
I was
avatar. I
gonna-
can never run around as
Blame- blame B. Just blame B.
I'm here in desktop mode for the E3 talk.
Oh yeah. I've done my tests here. I've done my tests and whatnot. This
Oh, is that
hey,
what
this
you're
works.
That's-
But yeah, I'm gonna be.
Desktop Booty is a major throwback.
So basically, what we're gonna be doing is
Too
basically
little seat for VR.
gonna be talking.
Oh, fair enough.
How dare.
Put the headset
I've done
on, you
nothing
know,
but
blast
sleep.
your eyeballs with light.
Oh my god,
Your
it's a
brain
Johnny
can
Bravo.
stay.
Up, Johnny.
It's a secret.
Hey, how's it going?
Gonna be basically like doing stuff like just talking about the E3 news and whatnot. But at the end of it, gonna be talking about Kingdom Hearts
Yeah, fair
stuff
enough.
from Melody of Memories and the end of Union Cross. So basically, like, cause I'm not gonna be playing either of those things. Gonna be
Critical, by the way.
Eventually, I need to play Kingdom Hearts.
eventually.
I watched
I need
Raccoon
to check
play
see if it,
about 20%
I
of
don't
one.
do too well with nuns.
I figured it has controllers to
No,
play
Yeah, I've seen
no,
you was gonna
it's
bliss.
fine.
for
that a-
PC.
No, it's fine.
Are those miniaturized gawains?
Alright, so
That's what that barrel is. Ah, okay, yeah, point taken. You won't do such cool stuff.
representation. Tonight, latest Vanny. I'm gonna be doing like we're gonna be talking about some E3 stuff that I've been wanting to talk about. Let's give it the rifle.
Audience out of here.
I only saw like one game that appeared at E3, and that was what a toy shared earlier.
There,
Oh my fucking god.
He was drawing himself a fucking keyblade. Oh my god.
Thanks.
Oh god, okay, so I thought this was a good idea. I thought this was a good idea to be over here, but the problem is this
is
place.
secretly the most powerful character because he doesn't draw anything.
Kirby looks like
And it's
fucking
real.
research from Chrono Cross.
But what?
I'm so tall.
In theory.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that.
Oh my
Just
god.
chooses not to.
Wait, that wasn't on purpose? I thought you...
No, he's based off of the Selkie from Crystal Chronicles.
Come on.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
But like
I
now
was just
that
sitting there, I'm like, man, we were just talking about Chrono Cross. I was like, man, I'm getting search vibes from this one.
you know, I'm gonna think about that one. I'm gonna think about that one though. I'm gonna think about that one.
How's it going, Damon?
I'll just sit here.
So I think we might need to go to a different world.
Yeah.
We might. You know what? Let's just go to like a little lounge. I'll just turn off the music. That's always the go-to place for
Yeah, stuff
talking.
that's copyrighted.
Oh, you
Probably,
actually-
but
Oh, mama.
Usually. Most likely.
Everything's
Yeah, I completely forgot about
You go to the U.S. Patent
Yeah.
Office, you can copyright anything. You can copyright a bib
You
for
are
use
my
while operating
courageous.
a motor vehicle. You can copyright a
you're
method of swinging on a standard set of playground swings.
I feel like
Someone
there's.
just
Know about
copyright
that.
the ollie on a skateboard. He wasn't the first person to do it, so he didn't get it.
I feel like there's some kind of joke that we said about like copyrighting your mom kind of thing.
I hear my nephew. I'm
Oh,
kind
you
of
could. You
Oh,
could.
I'm
If
dropping
you can
Portal.
reasonably prove that you were the person that invented your
Dropping
mama
Portal.
jokes, you can probably sell them as an NFT at least.
I don't-
Oh,
okay.
shit, right.
All right, we'll go use this place instead.
Come on, it's Leighton.
Yeah, I'll put my own music. Let's see. Let's look up some lo-fi music here, shall we? I mean, we could also just listen to the same music we were hearing just a moment ago. Well, you shall. Yes. God, that was so weird just sitting next to. Alright, so. Playlist.
Last time I was here, I actually crashed every time I came here. My computer was a fucking brick.
There's the question. How much is it? So is this copyrighted or is this not copyrighted?
I think it's all copyrighted.
Alright, well. I did not want to turn. You have no idea how much I did not want to turn it off.
Yeah, it's a shame.
If I look up Lacos' Twitter, maybe I can probably see if it is or not. I don't know how to feel about like the fact that I'm being like, you know, there are two police officer characters around this lawbreaker character.
This is a lot better in VR.
Hey. So we heard that you've been stealing lately, huh?
I have never been to Orlando Saka. Okay.
It never will because Curry's like, how far is that from here? And I was like, how the fuck should I know? And he's like, I'm not paying for them. I'm like, okay, that much.
Okay. No, I wasn't like that. I'm just wanted to change to a different location.
The onsen is a bit closer to Orlando Saka, and even then it's probably far away.
Okay.
PL itself is probably other side of the fucking planet.
Damon, I was going to be using that chair as the sitting spot for.
Let me put it this way. The last time I was on this map, 50% of these weren't here.
There we go. Actually, you know what?
50% of what wasn't here?
The items over there.
Oh, also no.
There we go. God, I feel so tiny compared to everyone now. Jeez. Let me turn off the chairs.
We need to involve him in the conversation.
So turn off chairs. No colliders. No colliders. There we go.
Oh dear.
Gravity doesn't pertain
Well,
to
that's not what I
Lacos,
wanted.
He just flies around wherever he wants.
Yeah, the back arm actually always on.
Alright, that's. There we go. Okay. Out of the wrong order. What? Oh.
Hi.
I'm finally being taken in for all my crimes.
Massive 18,000 guy.
Oh yeah, good luck
Is it the
with that.
murder or the theft?
Okay.
Which was the next one? Okay, you don't think.
Whoa.
Yeah. For some reason, the backs always have colliders.
It's weird, but whatevs. Doesn't matter.
I like the 3D effect on this, but it's kind of
Oh,
disorienting
shit.
at the
I
same
was about
time.
to fucking ram my back into the wall.
Alright. Now let's get into the news.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Reed, that's so old and it's still cringy.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are cool.
What's something to separate?
I'm
Oh, God.
curious, 'cause I didn't pay attention to E3, so I'm curious what's happening besides the Outer Worlds 2 being announced.
This thing's being a brat. This thing's being a brat. There we go. I'll go with this.
Really up, Reed.
Oh my God.
There, I've got my news article. Right
Let's screw this. There we go. We'll go with this. We'll go with this.
So it's the first thing on the list.
Hold on. Let me just get some.
Mine's all pictures.
Okay, what you guys are saying again?
You got like 3 swords in you, man. We'll tell you the game news once you go to a hospital.
So I want to go through.
Thanks that it's only doing like 10 damage.
I've got
so I
my
want-
few topics to talk about, but I can talk about them for hours, so...
I'm gonna go through the stuff that happened with in regards to like yesterday, as opposed to just like everything that's been happening all at once. Mainly because like I actually have written down notes on all this stuff. So there's that. Oh my God, B. So
I'm an
yeah.
industry professional.
Okay, I guess looking around, yeah, I am the one that's the most professional in this room in regards to the industry.
Don't
Oh,
gotta be
yeah.
a Michelin star chef to say something's too spicy, though.
B would have words with you.
Hey! I mean, hey, I worked in the industry, okay? That's what I meant.
I work in retail.
I mean, of course,
Technically, I guess this is a 3D modeler. B has too.
yeah, that's very true.
Mansing veterans
Very
pay.
true. So let's see. I guess talking about the Microsoft and Bethesda thing, which is still weird to think about. Just like the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. It's just kind of like a weird thing to think about.
Honestly, they're thriving better there than they were where they were before, so I'm for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're able to release a 10th anniversary version of Skyrim.
There's a couple of things that could be said.
God.
The problem is that there could actually be a couple of things that can be said about in regards to some of the Bethesda stuff that like people who are like running things like shareholders and stuff like that. But I cannot actually talk about that stuff because it ties into some stuff that I don't like to talk about on stream. So that's up to you guys to find that out. But regardless, hey, Starfield exists. For those who do not know what Starfield is, it's basically Bethesda's like Bethesda, the ones that made Elder Scrolls and stuff like that. It's their next big IP thing. Like they've been wanting to make a sort of it's star or you go into space.
Yeah.
But it's using
Also
the
Prey, basically.
it's Skyrim, but in space. But no,
That's why they
Skyrim
put it
in the universe. There we go. Because if I say in space, you might think of like colonies or whatnot. But
I would consider it closer to say like Bethesda's take on like something like No Man's Sky.
yes.
Possibly.
Honestly,
Or what's it called?
Hopefully not a mess at launch.
Outer Worlds.
yeah, no, I know.
No, that
That'll be interesting.
the space tracking simulator takes like a full keyboard to control.
Elite
Also
Dangerous.
might be the warlord
Yeah,
of
Elite
this
Dangerous.
province if you take my weaponry from me.
It's probably going to be like
I forgot the name.
it's probably going to be
That's kinda
akin to like Fallout 3 to like how
Display of technique.
Obsidian was with Outer Worlds.
Kind of impressive.
The new engine looks really good for
Kinda wish I had that sort of
Starfall or Starfield.
Starfield, yeah. They have they upgraded the engine to be called now Creation Engine 2.
Like 70 years ago, we did more
They're
Uh,
finally allowed to go away from the original creation engine now that
No,
Xbox
Fruity,
bought
no.
them.
No. Here's a problem. The problem is that it's still on the game. It was all originally on Gamebryo, which was back like in Morrowind. I don't know if it's like even before Morrowind, but yeah, Morrowind. And it's been just all these games. It's just been evolving. Skyrim was when it became
Oh, no,
called
I know,
Creation Engine.
But
Oh
Like, I
yeah.
get it, but at the
That's right.
same
That's right.
time-
Yeah. I forgot that they were not allowed to do any like sort of big crazy jumps because of shareholders.
They finally moved from Unreal Engine 1 to Unreal Engine 2.
Actually, this works as kind of a filter.
Metaphorically speaking, remember. Metaphorically speaking, remember.
Behind you.
B is perfectly
Am I-
attractive.
I also kind of appreciate that.
No, they are. That's the thing. This works as a filter,
Oh.
so I don't find them as
I
hot.
kind of appreciate that instead of them showing like a lot of stuff, hey, here's gameplay, here's all this sort of stuff. It's a teaser of the engine, and they just kind of show
Okay, so I have a problem. I
um,
found a lot of cosmetics.
guys, if you want to kind of talk something that's unrelated to stuff,
Guys,
there's more areas around
My
there.
bad.
It's fine. Like I said, if you want to talk about some other stuff, then it's fine. But
Meanwhile, Shadow's coming here with the
Avatar
fucking
ball,
gun.
100%.
It's not fine.
Well, I mean, hey, I have my own
No
gun here too.
excuses.
I'm too lazy. I don't have a sidearm though. If it was a sidearm, I would be firing it. Anyways, yeah. I appreciate that they didn't kind of go too into things because, like, you know, getting hyped too early, it can get tiring, or it can kind of be like, you know, you're gonna forget about it later on, and you know your hype is already ended by the time the game comes out, which is set to be on November 11th, 2022. They have a thing for.
I think most people have learned about the whole hype thing.
Mhm.
Just because everything that's been overhyped lately has had such negative backlash that I feel it's kind of a thing that, like, the more you hype something, the worse response you're going to get in the end.
Yeah.
And even still, like, you don't even have to intentionally try to hype things. It's like something that just it hypes itself up.
Well,
Yeah.
Honestly, I blame that more with like advertisers and stuff because you know the whole intent of advertising is to generate hype. And the whole intent
Well,
of
a lot of
marketing
people
is
get
to-
overly hyped over things that haven't even been announced yet as well. And when it's not announced, they get upset about it. It was never like confirmed.
I'm not upset that nothing about Final Fantasy was like shown in the Square Enix thing. Well, nothing except Chaos posting. But like
Chaos.
We'll get to that.
yeah.
We'll get to that at some point. Thank you very much. I got my side. I'm ready to
I don't
go.
know.
Thank you.
I have a theory about
Did
that,
you make
but
sure
we'll
it's
wait until we get...
no plasma? Because, you know, I can't kill
The
anyone.
unfortunate thing is that I ended up missing most of the Bethesda thing.
Mm.
But from what I saw, it was just like, oh, this is something I can pick up through cultural osmosis.
You know, I think the next thing I should probably make mention is that all the conferences, I saw all the like the dates, all the content they've shown. My brain just can't stop thinking, COVID.
Yeah.
Just
When did Bethesda's thing happen?
yesterday.
Ah, okay.
I
don't know how I missed that.
There's no
Or is
live,
it all just digital?
all digital.
Okay, good.
Oh god, they've got a biggest And honestly, with digital, it's probably better because they can't have stuff like the Epic panel from like a few years back where they had to like, there's like one guy clapping and that was it.
And technical difficulties are less prevalent.
Like
nothing will
they're less
torpedo
awkward.
both the host's confidence and the audience's confidence than something like that.
Yeah.
Though, we're not on the PC gaming thing yet, so I'm gonna hold off for that.
On the other hand, live stuff does get you. You're breathtaking.
Yep.
It
Yeah,
does-
exactly.
It does,
You
but-
do get...
But the problem is that like, once Cyberpunk was released and more or less bombed because it wasn't the second coming of Christ, I'm convinced nothing short of that would have given it good reviews. But anyway, but like because of it all, your breathtaking's kind of insulted, hasn't it?
Not really.
Not really. I wouldn't say that
It's
one's
just
been
Keanu in a
insulted.
nutshell.
Yeah, but like whenever I post stuff about Keanu anymore, I get like
Cheers.
a wave of people being like, "Awesome 100 Keanu Chungus, up dudes to the left," like ironic shit like that. It's like, yeah.
Whomst?
I'm gonna say let's not worry about that. Let's go to the next thing on the list there. Let's see, Stalker 2.
My health freaks,
Yes.
You know, I don't really care much for Stalker, but like, I'm really impressed by the.
Some people are fucking excited.
Yes, there's ecstatic. The people are ecstatic, but like, I'm impressed with the
I'm interested.
Like that
atmosphere.
one sitting over there. Just look over there. You can see one such person right here.
completely ostensibly
Calm down.
God.
was made for
Gonna
this
die of a heart attack before it comes out if you keep doing that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So
It's
one
very
thing I want to
interesting.
mention
If it does come out, the automation
about
shit,
Stalker that
it
I
doesn't
really
matter, that's
liked,
Stalker.
and I don't know if this was a thing for the
thank you.
whole series, or if this is just a thing for the new game, but everything about that trailer and everything that I've seen so far from the game is all about just building a sense of atmosphere. And that atmosphere can change
Yeah.
depending on the scene,
Yeah.
but that is just... that was some amazing atmosphere setting. Just right there.
Honestly, it
Yeah.
seems like a lot of Russian writers and just kind of games that try to emulate Russia in general, they just seem to do really good in that department. I don't know
Yeah.
why that is. You don't really see that anywhere else. But
Probably
Russia-
take some hints from Russian literature, which was also all about
also
building a
these,
sense of atmosphere and emotion.
It's those are Ukrainian and the game's set Ukraine, so
Oh, they're Ukrainian, got it.
yeah.
Well,
That is
Slavic.
also now an Unreal Engine instead of in the X-Ray engine.
I feel like a big thing
Which
is
is
if
nice
you can
'cause
create a
X-Ray
good
engine's a pain.
if you can create a good
X-ray
atmosphere, you've got a good setup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you could have a moment where, like, if your story is like you're not sure exactly what to do for a situation, the atmosphere could very well just carry
Hungry?
parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of like how
Just give you a heads up, you're still loading in for
Oh
me.
my god, Shane.
Yeah, I want to read that after
yeah,
Wheatley
yeah,
says.
sorry.
Hold on.
your
Hold on.
first mission is just
Yikes, those eating sounds are visceral.
oh hey,
What
just
the
go
hell?
find these
My
5
world
action
sounds are
There
like
you go, now
5,
you
so I
loaded.
can hear everyone.
Like, did Wheatley finish? Or is he picking?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just like first mission is just like first chunk of the game is just go to these 5 points on the map. And that's the only instructions they give you. And the rest is just talk to people along the way.
I like what Pretty was make note. Chain what they said. People were like, "Is this another Metro?" And I'm like, "These uncultured non-squatters, SMH. It's clearly Stalker 2."
Alright. Slav squat time.
Nah,
We did it.
Oh,
Alright, I'm
God.
squatting. Okay, I can't do that for very. Oh, my knee, I forgot.
Pretty. Yeah, I was about to say, hun.
Fucking gone.
Also,
Let
tell
me move
yourself.
my chair really quick.
My knee is still popping.
Got chair here.
Oh my
Oh
god.
god.
What did you do?
Oh god.
She hurt
I
herself.
fell in my bathtub.
Ow! Fair enough.
Ah.
Let's see. I
Your
feel like
injury is valid.
so. I think I actually spoke about this one before.
alright.
Doing what you can at least. I could do. So let's see. Back for Blood. For those who do not know, that is a it's from developers who've made Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2. Yeah. You know,
Oh yeah, I heard
Yep.
about
gameplay looks nice. The gameplay looks nice. The
It does. It looks fun.
well, I have a sort of a problem with it though, in that like the gameplay looks fine. The character interactions, it feels a little soulless, if that makes any sense. I looked at the trailers from Left 4 Dead.
It's the new gameplay trailer.
Even the previous gameplay trailer, it still felt like that to me. I went to look at Left 4 Dead 1 and Left 4 Dead 2, their trailers to see how they look like, and it just those had it looks interesting. It looked like there was soul in them. I guess there was a different feeling to them.
Yeah.
But
Alright,
the
give me a
Back for
moment, I
Blood
gotta-
stuff, it feels like it's missing something. But it could just simply just be
Yeah,
me.
I have attached this mask to my face and can't remove it.
Free. It could be that just like I'm looking at I'm looking at something that doesn't exist there. But that I feel like that's something that I hope they'll keep in mind, considering there's going to be some other games that are kind of like Left 4 Dead. Like for example, Dark Tide, which is the Warhammer 40k version of Vermintide. And
that one.
Overwatch
Yes.
2.
Oh, that is-
I think there's
Yeah, Overwatch 2 is going full Left 4 Dead, and I'm gonna be honest, as much as Back 4 Blood is interesting, that's gonna be some steep fucking competition.
also with Dark
Oh,
Tide.
yeah.
I know.
honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah, Overwatch 2 is leaning heavily PvP and taking notes from Left 4 Dead. It looks really
That's
good.
interesting.
PvE, you mean?
You know what?
Honestly,
I'm
though,
kind of more
our
interested than I was
PvP
before. I had
It's
it's
absolutely
already
no
P-
interest,
it's-
but
I
that
think
makes
it's
me
transitioning
interested.
to like a wave-based shooter.
which I am actually more okay with because deep down, one of the biggest ones I saw was when I played Overwatch like a lot,
Mm.
like a lot. Me and my group were always like, "Man, this game would be better if they kept the fucking PvE aspect in as a
Yes.
normal thing."
Yeah.
I
Because
agree.
that was fun.
That was super
Yeah,
fun.
like-
And then it just
I like
goes away after a while.
Overwatch's. Oh, sort of like Overwatch's setting. I like their character picks. I like all of that. Agato is
I love the Overwatch characters.
I don't like getting cursed
Yeah,
out
boy.
because I enjoy
Yeah.
playing Bastion.
Yep.
Basically,
Stay balanced.
like
Stay
the
balanced.
thing that I always disliked about Overwatch was the fact that it is a multiplayer hero shooter, which basically just meant I didn't like Overwatch, to be honest. So I'm kind of glad that there's at least going to be an opportunity for me to engage with the franchise in a way that isn't negative.
I like hero shooters, but they do get
It's
old
not
after a
me, it
while if they
sounds-
don't do it.
I do have a tiny bit of bad news though about Overwatch 2.
Mhm.
5v5 now instead of 6v6. F to tank duos.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Mono tanks.
That just
No, see what you do still is you just do your 5 people of all playing Diva and charge the enemy team. Totally not do that.
Oh my
80 times.
god.
Ah, you don't know, do you?
remove the ability to play consecutive heroes is the second I stopped caring. Why live if you can't just do all Roadhog? And just like bully the
I
enemy
need
teams
a paper bag. I need a paper bag. I just hearing that.
Yes, time to breathe heavily.
I still remember one time I got a like
Fucking chair.
3 in a row team wipe as Zenyatta.
Oh, I played absolutely nothing but Roadhog, and I was a massive shit kid.
Uh,
I played almost nothing but Widowmaker.
So
I was that
Fair
fucker.
enough. You were the bane of my fucking existence.
Zenyatta and Junkrat.
I don't
So,
remember.
I also
Shane-
played Bastion, but like
Shane has a nice way of just finishing up this thing here with, let's see, in regards to Back for Blood, being able to fix the game by, having your fully animated TDA Miku holding a singing guitar rifle, shooting Teletubbies. So,
Oh my god.
Yeah,
So
that's
what
a
you're
Left 4
saying
Dead
is
experience right
mods.
there.
mhm.
Pretty much. Imagine
Okay,
if
actually,
the
so-
modding experience was that massive. Pizza Man, can you stop spawning
Yeah.
pizzas? It's going to cause lag.
it's also the
Excuse
eating
me.
sound is like super gross. I've had to mute my world thing for it.
Hold on. I need to devour all this
Like,
pizza so we can not lose our frames here.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
can
Like,
usually
I don't
usually deal
Quick,
with like
everyone
weird
eat the
sounds.
pizza.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
Eat it, He-Man!
Devouring a pizza is just a bit much for me. It's a
Eat
bit
the
too much for my
pizza, He-Man!
delicate city slicker sensibilities, if you will.
So I will say kind of
Eat it!
the thing I felt about Overwatch, which is like.
There we go.
Kind of ended up starting a version of everything I'd be hero shooter. And I didn't really like it because of that. Because it's like.
Yeah, that's
well,
the
before
fucking
Overwatch,
market's full. That's not
you know,
Overwatch's
you play this
fault.
Quake game, you have this Quake Live. And that was literally
Yeah, it was just what was popular at
here's
the
Quake
time.
3 with more,
I mean, honestly,
competition stuff. You're like, oh, Overwatch thing. Now we need Quake Champions, which is Quake, but it's now a hero shooter. And all the skills are absolutely terrible. Such as
Honestly,
it's
player
just fun.
skills. You want to know what Doom's
Yeah,
player
it's
It's the
skills
trend
were?
for the time. What?
my
His passive
criticism of
ability
it
was that
is
he didn't speak. And that was his passive
But,
ability.
Also, I didn't.
One of his
I
three
didn't even know
abilities.
he was in that.
No,
That's
the abilities are terrible. Half and don't do anything.
where's my
And they
water?
charge you like $30 for the game.
Let's see.
How's-
Contraband. Oh, hey, thank you for the raid there, Glenn. So let's see. Next thing that popped up in there was a game called Contraband. It's made by Avalanche Studios. They didn't
Just
show.
concepts, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't show
Oh,
much of
nice.
anything. It's simply just like sort of a teaser kind of thing, just like, hey, here's the mood we're gonna go for. I'm trying to remember what the genre was supposed to be. I think it's like I think it was a co-op game.
It's not
Uh,
co-op open
no, it's not.
world.
Oh, well.
what was that?
I saw a co-op and open world in the
Co-op
teaser,
open world.
so
Okay, yeah.
that's what made me think it was
Co-op
just
open
cause.
world.
So yeah.
Oh,
Cause
Oh.
like,
Okay.
cause just cause is
I mean-
sort of they're like one open world game.
Mhm.
am I-
So would it look like environment wise, like sci-fi,
They
futuristic?
didn't. It seemed like it was kind of like a modern. Maybe it might be a little bit like, a little bit further back in the past. Like the music choice felt like it was something that could have been further back in the past.
That'd be interesting.
Like 70s or 80s.
I think the music was kind of like that, yeah, a little bit, but it's just hard to tell. It's still hard to
Okay.
tell.
Honestly, with the name Contraband and what you've described, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just kind of a drug smuggling simulator sort of deal.
Yeah, it does sound like
Yeah.
Like Smuggler's Run.
My guess was something between Payday and GTA heists.
that. Imagine
I'd
an
be down
open
with
world
that.
Payday.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah,
Wait,
like,
are you
like
talking
no
about-
joke, I have basically everything from Payday 2 because I have no self-control. I'd fuck with an open world Payday game.
Well, no, 'cause remember, like
Contraband?
Rockstar
Are you
also,
talking about
or,
the Contraband Police
No, yeah, the-
game?
I'm talking about the
No,
game that was
yeah.
announced in E3.
Yeah.
Ah,
well, okay, because what's
Ah,
trying to say
yeah.
is that
okay.
because like Rockstar did actually make an open world game where you are just smuggling weapons and such. Granted, you're always in a car, but you know.
Yeah,
It's
Could be
Grand Theft
Driver.
Auto is one of those games
No,
where
wait,
it feels
was
like
that
it's
No,
something
like
else?
Smuggler's Run. Driver was
Oh.
Ubisoft.
In Grand Theft Auto,
okay,
all
yeah,
I
yeah,
do
I
is
got that. Oh,
race.
what
That's
you
all
were
I do.
talking about earlier. When you mentioned
Yeah.
Smugglers 1-3 being a thing.
I mean,
Contraband is a
I
co-op
used to,
smuggler's
but
paradise
just
set
after the Oppressor
in
one,
a
too,
fictional
just to
world
keep
of
useless.
1970s.
Not the racist specifically,
Yeah.
but like, you know,
Oh.
Ooh.
fancy
There we
cars.
go.
That'll get some people interested.
Yep,
Not
there we
explosive
go.
resistant,
Yeah.
might as well
What was
use
it again? I'm
mass
sorry.
flavor.
There's a lot of talking.
Yeah, guys, let's try to focus
Sorry.
on the game, specifically the game. Look, that you be fired. You got too many bullets to be firing at everyone. Anyways, so Contraband is a co-op smuggler's
I'm not
paradise
worth it.
in. Oh my god. Contraband is a co-op smuggler's paradise set in fictional world of 1970s, 1970s Bayonne, and it's the most ambitious, spectacular game to date for Avalanche Studios. So it's let's see,
What other games do they make?
Just cause.
Oh, okay.
I think that's all that needs to be
Oh, I
said.
have Just Cause
You know,
4.
that makes sense.
Mhm. So
Interesting.
Oh. Honestly,
When I hear
I've
when I
been-
hear things
Go on.
when I hear things like the most ambitious thing
Oh my
taking
God,
place, all
David.
that kind of goes through my head. It's just like we added 10 more quests than what we put in Just Cause. And
I can
like that.
see your legs, Damon.
I've just seen stuff like that get used as like buzzwords a lot.
Oh, I did.
the scale and like visual fidelity of a game are just buzzwords anymore. But honestly, Avalanche, I don't know. I trust them. You know?
Yeah.
They
they
deliver
did-
in nothing if not scale.
Yeah, they've done really great with things like Just Cause, and a theme like the 1970s is one of the biggest things about 1970 is if you think about everything that happened in the 70s, you got a lot to work with.
I was gonna say, honestly,
yeah,
this is like a 1970s drug smuggling game that takes place presumably in the Caribbean. I mean, that's
They-
one of the safer bets.
Well,
They
okay,
could
so actually, this
have
might just
high-speed car chases, or like whatever they could possibly think of at the time, absolutely go nuts.
And
And
the thing
there was
is-
probably a newspaper about that in the 70s.
well,
Oh yeah.
well,
So, actually, I do actually just remember something. Like back when Just Cause 3 was still like right before announced, there actually was like a leak of some stuff that was like a retro sort of Just Cause that looked like Just Cause in like the 70s. So,
Mm.
granted, this is like 8 years ago at this point, but
Well, this is probably what that was, so.
it,
Don't some
it's a long
qualis
time. I
around.
mean, it's a long time for development, but you know.
the location is possibly somewhere in the maybe in the Middle East. So
Yeah.
Ugh. Immediate
Which-
turn down. I am sick of the Middle Eastern games. I'm
well,
sick of the Middle East in real life. The people there are lovely, but like video games,
Well, I'm
nah,
thi-
it's always so
I'm
reductive.
thinking either like
Yeah.
the Middle East or more probably like Southeast Asia.
I'm
Like,
I'm
I'd be
thinking.
down for Southeast
I
Asia.
think it's
Yeah,
more. Yeah,
Southeast
it's
Asia.
more
Yeah.
more. I think it's more east than middle.
It's just
Yeah.
it's just like, I'm kind of sick of the Middle East being portrayed as this just like it's an endless desert with the occasional like mud hut house or something.
The trailer itself did not.
There's actual living people there. It's not just a shooty place.
The trailer, the teaser itself, like didn't show any kind of like desert or anything. They just showed like the inside of a building. And it was a nice cozy place and whatnot with like. So it's like there was no, it didn't have any feelings of like, hey, more Middle East stuff. But
honestly, it could still be, because it could be in an office building or something. If you ever seen pictures of like Afghanistan in the 70s, it blows your mind. But that's not what we're getting into. That almost leads me to believe it's going to be more urban than open world, which could be what they're talking about, their most ambitious thing.
Yeah, possibly.
Because I've noticed with the Just Cause series, right? They will make these super expansive open world areas. Most of them are natural terrain, and the largest cities will be like 12 buildings.
Yeah,
so I almost
true.
wonder if they're going to try and stretch the buildings out further.
Well,
it'd be interesting for them to go full city.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah,
actually another thing as
exactly.
well is because I was replaying GTA 4. I didn't really realize
Nice beer,
because in
David.
5, whenever there's a building you can go into, you just kind of walk up to it and teleport inside of it. But like in 4, you could actually walk into the building and walk around there and stuff. And there were just buildings in the open world you could walk into and just walk around.
I need to play the Just Cause games. I only played the second one, and I didn't beat it.
It feels like them saying the most ambitious thing feels
I
weird when
played
like
from
every
the
game
first one all the
feels
way to the
more
fourth.
ambitious than the previous one. So
And honestly, the operative issue with big open worlds where every building is something you can go through, right, is the same issue that you end up with like Star Citizen versus Elite Dangerous, where it's like, yeah, in Star Citizen it is cool that to fly your ship you have to actually walk into it and then walk to the pilot seat and then sit down. There goes my mouse again. And then, sit in the pilot seat, turn it on, all that stuff, right? That's fun for exactly 3 times, and then it's just like, I really wish that I could teleport. Especially if someone's shooting at you. But like,
yeah, most people wish they could do
it
that.
really does become an issue of, at what point are you dumping effort into details that the players are going to appreciate for a limited time, right?
Yeah.
Because mark my words, right? If something like GTA 5 had fully walkthroughable skyscrapers and stuff, online would be completely different. You wouldn't have these big open world fights and stuff. You'd have people squabbling for control of specific floors of the skyscraper because something's useful there. So you'd have like player guilds that like just focus on force killing people that come out of elevators and stuff. It'd be ridiculous.
True. The outside might be safer.
Because it had a McDonald's.
It's safer to walk.
Exactly. It'd be something like, this place has an advertisement that's a dick joke, ergo we need to lay claim to it.
It's safer to just walk over to McDonald's or whatever they call it. Their burger shot.
Clucking Bell.
Daddy missiles.
Pretty no.
This is your skip driver. I can't pick up your order. There's a tank parked on the roof.
It's a wonder of time.
All right.
Time to feed the death
Let's
god
move on to the next one. Which probably won't spend much time talking about. But I wish I had time to play Sea of Thieves. They showed
I want to try 14 so bad.
Ferdy, that was supposed to lead into Ferdy.
Go ahead.
Ferdy,
Go ahead.
that was supposed to lead into.
Final Fantasy 14
Thieves isn't
free
that bad.
trial. I will not do that.
That was supposed to lead into Sea of Thieves having the whole Pirates of the Caribbean thing, where you can,
Using that of all.
Yeah.
So,
Is Pirates of the Caribbean even relevant anymore?
I don't know.
When was the last movie?
I don't know.
Years ago.
It doesn't take away the fact that people like it still.
I mean,
True.
At first they were a bop.
Yeah, fair.
A lot of people don't care
I
for
will
the
say, like,
Pirates of the Caribbean series. I always enjoyed it. I never had a problem with
The
it.
first three are just
I like
fun.
the first-
The last two kind of got meh.
I enjoyed the.
I
I
like
think I enjoyed the fourth one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the first
with the
two
mermaids?
movies, like, it was that, like, you could
That's the fifth one.
you could turn yourself off and just enjoy.
I love
Like,
the
you could just
second one.
enjoy Pirates of the Caribbean.
So Sea
I've
has always been like.
never been a big fan of that though.
I have met the person who made the music for Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
Oh
neat.
shit!
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, his name is Klaus Bonnet.
So, CV's
He's
like a game
talented.
I've kind of been wanting to get into, purely just because, like, back when it first came out, I saw a clip of just someone playing an accordion, shoving themselves in the cannon, and getting shot out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is the game I want to play. How much is it?
See,
Like
but-
$30. Okay,
I need
I'm
to
broke.
get it eventually.
Honestly, I miss it.
Yeah, I
the
do
thing that puts
too.
me off Sea of Thieves is just the PvP aspect of it, right? If I'm gonna do a
Oh, I
pirate
forgot there was
game, I
PvP.
want to be like the whole allure of the pirate thing is from that old quote. I can't remember who said it. That like at every point in someone's life, they must be tempted to hoist the black flag and begin to slit throats, right? That's the whole appeal of the pirate fantasy. Is just you cast aside the bonds of civilization, go into untamed waters, and just you are the absolute scourge of the seas, and you destroy everything, right? But with PvP, you don't really get
That's
that.
not the pirate fantasy, though. The pirate fantasy is just the romanticized, like, I want to go out on adventures. I want to find treasure and be
yeah.
swashbuckling.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, but you're usually on the winning side when you do, right? You don't get like blown out of the sky by someone.
I mean, I'm just saying that that's what
That's my
when
issue.
people want to be going on the pirate fantasy, it's not the bad sides or the ugly
Yeah.
sides. It's simply just the fun,
Yeah.
It's just
No,
they
because,
just want
like,
to be an
okay,
adventure.
Sato's point, though, it's not fun to be going on an adventure and then get zoinked by someone else.
Yeah,
Get
like
your-
the whole point
Get
of
your
the pirate
ship
fantasy is
blown up as soon as you leave shore.
you don't feel bad because when you're a pirate, you're attacking other ships, right? But the thing is, the pirate fantasy is a lot less fun from the other perspective, where just some random guy who's ridiculously powerful just rolls up and BAM! Mortis.
I think we kind of experienced something akin to that, but we just like I forgot what we did. We simply
I think we just misunderstood.
I'm wondering something with the Sea of Thieves, with the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. They didn't add any cutscenes, did they? Because like
that's a campaign. That's an entire campaign for free.
Yeah, it's a campaign.
Oh,
It's
that's
a
a campaign.
Oh, there's a
Yep.
campaign.
You get to be best friends with Jack Sparrow.
Okay, that's a lot more interesting than just going on quests
That
with
might
just interacting with them, freeing
might make it
flying
actually
dialogue
really
and
good.
doing a quest.
Mhm.
That sounds interesting. I need to see if I still have Sea of Thieves somewhere.
Did they tell us if it's a single player campaign or is it
And the
like you can
cutscene-
party with your friends?
And the cutscene when they like kind of first introduce Jack, who's stuck in prison and trying to get a key from Little Dog. You're walking down there with at least two other pirates. They look like
Okay.
credit characters, so it's likely you're.
So
Can we agree that the Jack Sparrow impression is way better than the ones in Kingdom Hearts? It's way better.
Also, admittedly, Jack Sparrow in prison trying to get a key from a tiny dog just feels like a Pirates of the Caribbean scene.
It literally is though. Like it's
It is.
it's part of the ride. It's part of the ride.
It's like the most
Yeah, no,
iconic
I know,
moment
but-
from the ride.
it's just
I
think that makes it
that's
seem-
why it would.
yeah. I think that's what makes. I think that also is something that you would do on principle at that point. It's just to give something that's like, yes, this feels like Pirates of the Caribbean.
You
Yeah.
have to reference that.
Though I
Because like the whole humor of it is that it's super serious, but the solutions are always somewhat comical,
yeah.
True.
right?
Speaking of the whole gotta have something in there, it kind of felt a little they forced the Jack going like, now bring me that horizon. That felt it was a little forced with how they presented it there. So there might be still some things that they got to be putting in there, but that one felt like that. Out of everything, that was at the end. That one felt like it was forced, and that one felt like it's just like Disney was like, we want you to have this in here, instead of like the more natural like.
They're obviously doing a tie-in with hit emo punk band Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I mean, to be fair, you could have stranger crossovers like Death Stranding and Cyberpunk.
That does not sound. That does not sound that strange to me though.
Thematically, that actually seems like it would be very in line with each other.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Even if
S-
ultimately
That works.
Death Stranding's a little more hopeful despite the bleaker environment,
So
it's
let's
more
see.
hopeful on the human condition.
We got next is well, Battlefield. Battlefield is Battlefield. I know it's gonna be fun.
That
Me
one
personally,
actually looks
Battlefield.
interesting.
I'm a little more interested in other
Yeah,
games,
I'm
but like
Actually, yeah.
Battlefield with 128
something-
people. 128 people.
For the
But there's
first time
something
in my
else.
life,
Mhm.
I'm interested in Battlefields.
I want to mention, because I know it's in the trailer.
Oh my god.
Because I'm interested in the Discord, assuming that all the vehicles in the trailer will be in game.
Mhm.
The Russians will get a Ka-52 for their attack helicopter. That is unique because it's one of the only 2 helicopters in the world with working ejection seats.
Okay,
It works.
I see where this is going.
The rotors off
That-
for ejecting the
What?
helicopter.
Oh, I was wondering how that would work.
Well,
Yeah, like,
that's for
That's a
Battlefield.
lot better than I thought.
This is a very odd pick for your
That just
attack
makes me.
helicopter.
That makes me
so let me
picture.
eject.
When they eject, they just get sliced up in the blades.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I
Also-
was wondering about
on
that.
So
one
also thinking
hand,
about it, and it's
I'm
also kind
excited
of a
for
weird pick for a
2042, right?
helicopter.
And it's the first time I've been excited for a Battlefield game, which is kind of a lot. All the ones that I liked beforehand had already been out for several years before I became sentient enough to like understand them. So I'm kind of glad that the one that I'm excited for looks like it's leading into potentially a 2142 remake. If only because
Yeah.
it's 2042, it's a century before.
Well,
You know,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, a part of what made me
Because-
interested in this new Battlefield is experiencing that Purple Lotus War RP. Like, after that, I was like, okay, I get the appeal of being in a battle zone now with a lot of people. Oh,
That's a-
this is a
Yeah.
battle zone with a lot of people. I'm interested now.
Actually,
Y'all wondered why I was jealous of that. Yeah, it really is a hit like no other.
look, see, I think also I was thinking about that Russian helicopter they showed was that if that is sort of the like attack helicopter for the Russian team, that's gonna be kind of weird to implement to gameplay because normally the attack helicopters, the pilot flies it, the co-pilot mans a turret. Ka-52 does not have a turret; it's got a fixed gun, so there's not much for the co-pilot to do.
I mean, realistically, most people use aerial vehicles as just portable weapons anyway. And not weapons
mean-
as in, like, they have weapons on them. I mean, weapons as in they are cruise missiles with steering wheels. But,
Yeah.
I've also been
Which-
picked up by a fighter jet in Battlefield, so I don't know if realism is where they're going to be going.
but they had a
Yeah,
guy...
I'm just trying to
They had
figure
a
out how
guy
it's not
hoist
factored into
himself
gameplay.
out, shoot a jet, and get back in the plane.
Oh,
The
no,
ejector seat
Otto, here's
freezes
the
the
thing.
plane.
No, Otto,
Well,
here's the thing,
welcome
here's the
on
thing.
to the
He did not
list.
just
Like-
hoist himself out. He was inside the cockpit with a 84mm recoilless rifle strapped to his back.
Yeah, like, and honestly, I'm sort of glad that a lot of military shooters are moving out of this, like, juvenile obsession with realism.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
only because real-world conflicts, they're boring. They're gross, they're boring, they're sad. Nothing good has come out of war in real life. Well,
Yeah, it's true.
Almost.
actually, I stand by
There's a
that.
few.
Okay, the
Actually,
slaves got freed in the Civil War, but that's an outlier.
I was about to say, you know.
Video games.
So,
Yeah.
vid-
Because of
so-
people in slavery to begin with.
Video
but-
games.
So, video
Let's
games.
go.
So, next thing on here is, let's see, well, Psychonauts 2 is Psychonauts. I know it's gonna be fun, but I want to play it now.
Ooh,
I want to play it now.
I'm really excited for
It
that.
already came out.
It's coming out in August, I think. Is it August?
August this
Yeah.
year, I
My
believe.
birthday's in August.
hmm
August 12th.
I thought it didn't it like coming out like either the day I moved back to Arizona or
25th.
like 2 days before.
August
2 days
25th.
after. 25th. Yeah, that was the one. That was the one. God damn it.
What do you mean?
So,
I thought you always lived in Arizona.
I have to temporarily move to California and then move back because the apartment I'm getting to live on my own in Arizona is not built yet. So
Oh,
Fair enough.
it does not exist.
Just move yourself up
Okay,
when
what
you're
is
doing the bricks.
Psychonauts?
Psychonauts is a game. It's a game made by like known group of people and also Tim Schafer, who's done like stuff like classic oh my god, I forgot the term. Point and click games, like Data Tentacle, Manic Mansion, Indiana Jones, stuff like that.
Grim Fandango
But
comes
this,
to mind,
yeah,
too.
Grim Fandango, yeah.
On
But
Grim
Secret Monkey Island?
Fandangos. Oh my god, I want to
Ferdy,
see that
Ferdy,
game.
what's up, Willie?
I think did he also work on Secret Monkey Island?
Yes.
Or
Yeah, Secret of Monkey Island. But instead of this being a point-and-click game, this is an actual like platformer, 3D platformer game. But you can still see the sort of ties, the origins of point-and-click kind of stuff. And it's got quirky humor and whatnot, with a good a fun little wrapper around it. Basically, like you are playing as someone who ran away from a circus so that he can become a psychic cadet. He went to a psychic camp to learn how to be a psychic, a psychonaut. And
They also give an excuse as to why you can't swim.
Yeah,
It's because he can't
I'm not
go in the water.
I'm not going into all the details. I'm just kind of like covering quick little things. And you go into people's minds. Those minds are basically each world, and they have like they run with the concept of just sort of like, hey, what would it be going to someone else's mind? What would they see? How they portrayed the world and stuff like that kind of thing. So
Go to my own mind.
I can play it at some point, Shadow, and show you. I have the game, so.
You need to still play through it.
Yo, the fucking. At the very least, Shadow, you need to see the Milkman conspiracy.
that's the one everyone That's the one everyone thinks of. That's the one everyone thinks of. Let's see. Next thing they showed was
Trickiest area in the game.
next thing they showed was Fallout 76. I wish I had time to return to Fallout 76.
Yeah. I wish I had the energy to care about it.
Did you guys already mention about Slime Rancher 2?
I'm looking forward to that one.
I mean, I guess we could make mention of it. There's Slime Rancher 2. There we go.
Oh yeah. The first one is really good.
It looks amazing.
It's
The first
sequel.
one looked amazing.
Yeah, sequel. It's a comfy looking game. It's a comfy looking game.
It's basically a comfy game where basically you just collect slimes and such like that.
Think of the Father Say Sama.
Cozy and chill.
It's a relax game.
Yes.
It's a game to just relax. So here's another game like it to relax. You're probably going to enjoy it if you like the first one.
So they did show something. They were like saying like, hey, here's a new story related thing for Fallout 76. And the general idea is basically like, you know, the old style of Brotherhood of Steel dealing with the new style of Brotherhood of Steel. By new style, I mean like what Fallout 3 had, the sort of the heroic, the cool Brotherhood of Steel versus the like, you know, hey, just no technology for ourselves.
Oh,
that kind
so
of thing.
like a Civil War?
Kind of like that with that's the basis basically.
Oh, that
So-
sounds so
I'm kinda curious
good.
about
That sounds
something
like
else
such a
then.
good idea.
I can get
Because,
behind
like,
that.
It actually does.
Yeah, I'm
If I'm
down
not
to
correct, like,
vibe
from-
with that.
Fallout Tactics, the only thing that remained canon is that there was a branch of the Brotherhood of Steel that got stuck in Michigan. So I'm like, okay, what happened to them now?
Kind of reminds me that. Oh boy, sorry about that. Kind of reminds me of No, it doesn't remind me of anything, but it makes me wonder how they're going to keep that interesting, though, because I mean, Fallout 3 takes place after 76. We know how that Civil War ended up.
The thing is, this is a different location. This is a different location, and also like the fact that the Brotherhood of Steel being in that location is weird enough as it is. It's like one of those like just try not to think about it too much.
Well, yeah.
It's super weird.
I guess more valid on the same note is the worry about the other thing they're doing, which involves the pit.
Yeah,
We
that's
know
what.
how that ends.
Yeah, they announced
Way more
they announced expansion into the pit, which in Fallout 3 that's one of the locations you can go in DLC.
No, you don't understand. I absolutely, I loved the pit in 3.
Yeah,
Not
no.
because of what it represented. Slavers go to hell.
Mhm.
But I want more apocalyptic stuff that has that extra heavy layer of industrial to it, where it's like, the last city on Earth is this disgusting foundry where everything is still so
You'd like
red
Fallout
hot
1
that
and
it
2.
like glows at night. Right? That's hellish. I love that.
You would like Fallout 1 and 2.
So that
I
And
sort of did.
tactics.
so like basically like what Fruity
Fallout
said, it'd be
tactics
kind of
is
like
good.
it's well, those of us who played the Fallout 3, like we know what happened with the pit, so it's gonna be kind of weird to just go into basically what's basically going to be pre-industrial version of the pits, and I don't know what I don't know what we're expecting there. Are we gonna be the reason? Are we gonna be the reason?
Choice.
Oh my god!
Instead of kidnap a baby, it's strangle a baby.
Oh no.
No, mark my words.
Oh my god!
There's gonna be some NPC that's called like Asher, right? And you're gonna be helping Lord Asher like establish what becomes the pit in like 100 years.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like that.
You screwed yourself over 8 years ago.
Let's see. Yes. So, I wish I had time to play Elder Scrolls Online. There's a new,
And now I can finally speak
Oh my god.
about how I wish I had time to play Final Fantasy 14.
What was it, Shadow?
Yes, that.
What's up with Elder Scrolls?
Oh, they just kind of show like just more like they just basically show like, hey, look at all this cool stuff that's here. Like, oh yeah, you guys think that Elder Scrolls Online is basically just just Skyrim, whatever. Like, no, it's literally like that. This is alien looking world here. There's this unique looking architecture here. It's like there's.
They might be going into what happened with the dwarves, even.
Oh,
Yeah,
basically.
So I can watch. This is kind of a stretch because I just saw like the tagline one of the ads. I think this like kind of current expansion is like dealing with Oblivion and stuff.
Say it again. Sorry. Say it
I
again.
played a small bit of.
I think like the sort of current expansion.
Oh yeah. It's
promoting
yeah.
is, like,
Dealing with
something
Oblivion.
so-
Yeah. I think more like
To go
Ball.
into the absolute state about the MMO genre, but I can tell you a little bit about ESO, just a little. From what I have heard from other people who talk about MMOs in general, it's been ramping up. It didn't start out very good, but it's been getting better. Almost like people are almost wondering.
At all.
People are almost wondering if in maybe another 2 years or a couple expansions, it might end up pulling a Final Fantasy 14 and really redeeming itself.
I played a small bit of ESO a while back, and honestly, I enjoyed it more than Skyrim. I wasn't a big fan of Skyrim other than, like, modding the hell out of it. And I just found the gameplay a little bit better in ESO.
I would say.
Yeah, that's what people are saying.
Easier to get
ESO just has
into.
better gameplay across the board, and
Yeah, but I can't make myself a cute anime girl.
you want fair. Cute anime girls. Final Fantasy 14. I know we didn't get a whole lot of news for it this E3, but it's been exploding lately, and people have really been talking about it, Elder Scrolls Online, and Ashes of Creation.
Hold on.
We could talk about.
Cute cackle.
Well, I guess we can keep talking about that right now. I was gonna leave it for the Square Enix part, but
You know what? We can wait. We can wait till then.
Just Final Fantasy 14.
In about 30 this is a surprise tool that'll help us later. And in about 30 minutes, I will go into a rant about the absolute state of the MMO industry.
I'm gonna become a bunny boy.
That'll take.
Silver has been God's gift, I swear.
let's see.
But
The bunny boys in Final Fantasy should not be that hot.
I think a lot of people would beg to differ.
Stop.
I think a lot of people would beg to differ.
I mean,
Sucks that you're wrong, bitch.
I mean, yeah, that
why
is
aren't you
true.
sitting across from each other?
I don't know.
You hear his opinions on Final Fantasy 14? You can shove it.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you, Rob. So, thank you.
Listen. That is the commitment to the relation. Final Fantasy 14 is a commitment in my relationships.
I'll have you know
Funny.
I love you too.
Old true love.
Funny boys and
Nail
sights.
soften the blow.
He's casual, I'm
Okay. Okay. Sure.
That's true. Although, yeah, the
Let's
I guess
see.
we are
Bunny
talking about
boys are
14
way too
now.
hot.
I know, we're moving on.
So there's a game called
It's,
Somerville. It kind of looks interesting. I know this is not going to be like everyone's thing. They kind of like show off like sort of a a family, like wife, husband, child, doggo, they're all asleep in front of the TV. They're just kind of just chilling there, and then you
I'm
kind of see,
sold, doggos.
and then you see like some scene like of the dude just kind of like the husband kind of just running through like an area, running through several areas. Like some parts raining. It seems like one of those like limbo kind of thing, like kind of just traversing through an area. Although it's not a side scroller. It's like but it looks like it's you only on one track in terms of direction. But at some point you see like the doggo is actually running alongside you, and then you stop at some place that has all these strange looking spooky pillars, hovering in the air, like far distance and whatnot. And I guess like you're kind of trying to survive with your family in a sort of as a alien attack is happening and whatnot. Like it just
What game is this?
Somerville. It's called Somerville. Yeah. So basically,
with all the VRChat RP characters, I love that one.
no, not that one, not that one. That was we'll get to that. We'll get to that one at some point. This one, like I said, this one has sort of a feeling like limbo and stuff like that. I just hope that the entire family gets to do cool stuff instead of just like it being a game made by like millennial dads coming to terms with being a family man. I mean, no offense to them or the daddening in games.
I can't move past that one. We're gonna let it ride. I can't tell that.
So,
We've got a word for that entire genre of character arcs now. The daddening.
so Halo Infinite is Halo, I guess. I know it's gonna be fun, but I still haven't played the Master Chief Collection.
Oh, that's a cool setup.
I need to finish doing that.
If I could, I'd fucking drag you along with that.
Master Chief Infinite, the multiplayer is it's free to play. The campaign though, that is a story. That is a story you gotta pay for, and it looks neat.
Free to play multiplayer, huh?
Yep. Yep.
That's an interesting take.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of curious if like you get it for free if you just buy the game the campaign, and they're gonna be released. I think they're gonna try to release at the same time. So
yeah,
I think
they
I'll
said
have to
they're
keep an
going
eye
to
on
release
that
it.
one. I'll have to look it up later too.
what's a Willy?
That catches my attention.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they did say that they're going to release at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, they just said, oh, they're both releasing for the holidays.
Oh yeah, holidays.
So that's interesting that
Yep,
I noticed
holiday
is
season.
that the kind of like that samurai armor they showed.
That snuck up on me. That snuck up on me.
It was
like 6 months.
But I think the visor kind of looked more like Doom Guy's visor than Master Chief's visor. So yeah.
I think that's just cool. I think that's coincidence. I think it's coincidence.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember what I was gonna say. Sorry. Continue.
So yeah, Halo's Halo. The big area looks like a big expansive area to move around. It seems like, hey, you can finally move through an entire Halo ring uninhibited.
I like the aesthetic of that area too. More games need to have basalt columns.
Yeah.
Actually,
one mission as well as like.
Alpha, we're never going to be away from
the
daddening.
A free part. Then I feel like they had to like really expand the single player stuff. Because it's like, normally it's just like 10 missions and that's it.
I think because of how
open world games.
Yeah, what were you saying?
Sorry. Oh, open world games lend themselves to incredibly long quest patterns, though, just because.
Yeah.
I found a lot of times the whole point of an open world is less to conduct a story and more to kind of force the player to go to new areas, more or less. Like that's not a bad thing. Like everything about game design is forcing the player to do things anyway.
I can't agree with that one there.
More tricking them than forcing them.
Tricking them, forcing them.
I can't agree with that.
Force them whether by wit or by might. But
I mean, include side quests in a game, and players are going to be doing those instead of the main quests.
Basically, yeah. Like what I'm wondering basically is the story going to maybe not suffer, but is it going to end up the way a lot of open world games do it, where it has this really kind of uncomfortable, bloated middle, just because around mid-game is where the player starts like exploring and doing most of the side content.
Considering all the Halo games that I've played and stuff like that, I don't see that. They can a lot of the Halo games have a lot of or the more recent ones have like a lot of open areas to be going through, and sometimes they kind of funny do like smaller areas. Like basically, an area could basically be considered a quote unquote dungeon, and that's basically it's like the whole like here's the non-open area. Like you're being funneled through an area.
I mean, also they can't have the story be some like massive thing. It's gonna be we're gonna have to find something, because they can't have it be get to the thing at the end, right, and just put it the farthest point away from the player. Because then the most efficient method will be to find something that flies and go straight up along the diameter and just land on the thing.
It's probably gonna be a lot. Like you probably have to do find the magical MacGuffin or the technological MacGuffins, and to move forward.
They're gonna have to do some sort of like
that sort of thing.
Subnautica-esque gun array in order to get the players to not just immediately try to shortcut directly to the boss. And honestly, if they figure out a way to do it, it'd be wonderful, because it'd mean the player can constantly look up and see their end destination.
Yeah, that'd be kind of neat. Oh my god!
Something kind of similar.
Well, actually, a thought. I know the thing you're talking about. I kind of liked how they did it in Genshin Impact, when they first released the Stormbearer Peak, where you can see the storm at the top the whole time. I think that's kind of like that idea in action. I really like that too.
Yeah, well,
I feel like
the beauty of games that take place on megastructures is you can pull stuff like that.
I feel like for Halo it would just be end up being a forerunner.
Alright then. Sure, your mic is really staticky.
What?
Your mic is really picking up background noise hard. Like only when you're talking still.
Yeah, I had to turn it.
I'm kind of really curious what they're gonna do with Halo, to be honest, because just everything that they've been kind of showing off is listen.
You look comfy.
This is like peak comfort right now. Okay, but I did see something about the multiplayer where they said something along the lines of season passes are going to be a thing.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of concerned about as well.
Alfred, understandable. Understandable. I'm interested too. I'm interested.
Probably not.
I could see them honestly if they do it as a paid thing. That would make sense on why it's free. Because at the same time, you can still enjoy it. You just don't get the cosmetics.
Yeah,
so
I
people who say
like if they're under like season passes and loot boxes stuff in Halo, making it free to play base kind of makes that an easier bullet to bite. Because it's like
if they put loot boxes in Halo, heads will roll.
Oh, they already did.
If they do it again.
They probably will do it again.
I mean, one of the biggest things about like people say about loot boxes is everyone complains about them, but they still buy like 30 of them.
They still make money.
I complain about loot boxes as I buy loot boxes because my family has a genetic predisposition to gambling addictions. Yes, I am complaining about the problem because I am a victim of the problem.
Speaking,
I'm gonna complain about the loot boxes as I grab mom's credit card.
So speaking of loots, they showed off some footage of I guess Diablo 2. I guess called Resurrection or something like that.
Really?
Diablo.
Oh, this I need to hear.
Diablo's not really much my thing, but it just looks like it's.
Oh, it's 2?
Yeah, it's 2. It's not like a new game. It's a remake, rather. I guess an HD remake of the original one. But it's called.
Hopefully, it doesn't end up like the Warcraft remake.
So it's not 2D sprites. It's 3D models and stuff like that. Everything moving around with 3D models and whatnot. So. Like and if you, that's 2.
I was hoping it was Diablo 3. Oh well.
So I mean, a lot of people, like the old fans, really like Diablo 2. So there's that. Let's see.
Also, Diablo 3 isn't that old, so I don't think it really needs a remake.
It is at this point, it is considered old enough that it can get a remake.
I suppose.
Freddie might be able to give a more response to this, but Plague Tale looks like a neat movie, I guess.
It's a movie?
Well, it's not.
It is a game, actually.
It's a game.
It is
It's a game.
sequel to A Plague Tale: Innocence, which was actually not a bad game at all. A little bit more storytelling based and game based. One of those. But there was some solid gameplay, and it was a good story, apparently. And I'm interested to see where the sequel goes, because it looks like it's ramping up to be more of an epic journey with superpowers than the original more grounded horror-focused one was. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
I'm skeptical of any story-based game after the Order 1886, though, because that was like an hour long. It was when you get to the point where your games are cinematic to the point where they are literally a cinema-length thing, that's when I start having issues.
Otto, you played Death Stranding. You play Kojima games. I play Kojima
80
games.
hours, and I'm still trying to complete it. Thank you very much. I am taking my time.
It's like Metal Gear Solid 4,
I was about to say, we play Kojima games.
I can't remember the last time I saw a cutscene in Death Stranding. That's how long it's been.
So they showed another trailer. This is a different trailer to Far Cry 6 than they did an Ubisoft's thing. And the tone of this is so different. Like it was like I'm fine with it. I'm fine with that thing. But it looks like basically like it was like a goofy trailer. It was kind of a goofy trailer. It looks like what people are going to be playing. Like people would be like, oh yeah, this Far Cry 6 has this super serious, like realistic, gritty kind of story. But the trailer we saw at Xbox's thing was basically what people are going to actually be doing.
See, there's always been two sides to the Far Cry franchise, right?
Mm-hmm.
On one end, you have the stories are always incredibly human, incredibly gritty. Honestly,
the stories have have to do like. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? And then an elephant comes storming in through enemy grounds, stomping on everything.
You just merged 3 and 4 there, boy. But yeah, I see what you mean, right? Well, but the thing is, right, is that the definition of insanity speech from Vas Montenegro. Vas is such an interesting villain, in part because while there was a comedic web series of him just kind of traipsing around the islands, screwing shit up, he's also just genuinely terrifying. He is a character sort of like the Joker in that he's scary while he's being funny, and he's sort of earned that, right? The character is so well done, and part of that is because they literally wrote him off of an audition someone did for the villain. They were originally going to have it just be the guy after Voss Hoyt, but someone came in and did an impression that did not fit the villain at all, but they loved it so much they didn't want to let the guy walk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the story of how Voss was put in. But honestly...
Yeah, that's amazing, because I only know Voss.
Sorry for getting off track there. Anyway, the Far Cry series has always been about having these super gritty, super realistic stories. And then
this blood
the player... Yeah, and the player interacts with them in these ridiculous, over-the-top ways. Far Cry 5
I remember
has...
in 5, yeah, when you have this super advanced story about religion and beliefs and sin. It's an amazing story.
It has one of the most grotesque modern stories I've ever seen, and I love it.
And then you have a bear called Cheeseburger that you sick on these cultists.
Isn't that the same one with the albino badger that one-shots you?
Powered shuffles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get the badger, it's fight. You have an albino badger, and it's like, are you sure you want to accept this quest? You do it. You go after the badger. It soaks up all of your bullets and then just kills you with one hit.
Oh my god.
The actual story of Far Cry 5, if you were just watching it as a movie, would be fucked up. It is a tour de force of media radicalization and the fate of giant empires, and it's all this super high concept stuff told in this really brutal, almost almost hard to kind of stomach once you think about it.
I need to play these games. I have
Problem
almost
is,
all of them
or
on
not the
Steam.
problem. Honestly, I'd be down doing it co-op with you. But then
They have co-op?
you know,
I did not know
oh
that.
yeah,
they do.
and then
4 and 5 have
of
co-op.
course,
3 has some weird co-op campaign that's not very good.
yeah, no, fives is probably some of the better, but
Yeah.
But the thing is that all of this is tempered through the fact that you can adopt a diabetic bear named Cheeseburger, and that one of the only recurring characters in the series is Herc, who his two things are he is a useless piece of shit and he blows things up. That is
And then
entirely
Far
all.
Cry 5 hits you with the other backhand and just goes da 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 da. Only you.
Yeah, I loved how they tied that in.
Can
Uh,
make
There was actually some other things about Far Cry. Like they did, there's something under the conference before, and also like a thing during this one as well. Sorry, William, I'm just trying to keep this going.
Yeah.
Like there was
I was going to say something about 6, but
go ahead.
I do like also the kind of in the vein of the animal companions from 5 and 6. No, you can just have a chicken as your companion.
A chicken, a chicken with a spiked collar.
That's exactly how roosters will do. Just like a punk rock rooster. Yeah.
His name better be Doombringer or something.
Fighting
Like,
rooster.
It's like a cockfighting chicken. It's like, yeah, this is totally what roosters are like.
I mean, honestly, if I had to have a bird companion, I'd go for a swan. Swans will break people's legs.
I think I'd go for
Listen,
a goose.
I'm Canadian. You go for a goose.
Yep.
Yep.
You gotta go for the goose, Razo.
Swans are the temperament of a goose, stronger and prettier.
Nah.
No.
So
Listen,
I would go with
I went to a
peregrine
zoo,
falcon.
and they actually had to put off an entire security gate because a group of geese decided to move into one area. No one tried to fight it. No one tried to get pest control. They just let that area was no more. That did not belong to the zoo anymore.
That,
You want to use? No, it's gone.
Honestly,
it
that
was
happened to my
taken.
college last year. A single migrating goose blocked off the entire library because it was just sitting out there biting people who tried to go in.
Alright,
Um,
here's the thing though.
As a forward-thinking American, I threw my code over it and that did it.
I saw a video of here's the weakness to geese, and here's the big secret.
Freddie, let's not worry about the geese.
Real quick. I saw a video of someone just a geese trying to fuck with this old Asian grandmother, and she just grabbed it by the throat and threw it, and it didn't fuck with her again.
They can
Never
smell fear.
underestimate
You show no fear, you're good.
For those who haven't seen any of the trailers, the bad guy is basically played by I forgot what his name is, but he was basically like Gus in Breaking Bad, and yeah, and Moff Gideon.
Serious? They got him?
Gus and Moff Gideon.
Yeah, he's fucking fantastic in it.
That's amazing. That's fucking amazing. That makes me want to play the game.
It gets better later.
That dude is like the villain of cinema.
I've heard.
His name is Giancarlo Esposito.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah,
They got him to be the villain. Oh my god! You know what? They couldn't have made a better decision.
The boys.
But yeah, I think what I was trying to get at through that massive ramble
no, I'm
fest
good.
was that the first trailer is the story end of Far Cry 6,
Mhm.
and then the second trailer is the gameplay end of it.
Is
And
like
if you
what you're
watch both
actually gonna
of them, like,
experience.
intertwined, that's more or less what the games are,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. And I guess before we go on, there actually is another thing I want to say. Because I know like the Far Cry games have interesting choices like the weapons and stuff. And this one should be kind of, or I kind of hope this one will be interesting because it's set in South America and stuff.
Mhm.
And just like in terms of like firearm production stuff, there is a ton of just like firearms made by South American countries that you just don't see in any sort of media. So it should be pretty interesting.
Mhm.
I just desperately wish that a Far Cry game would take place in Khyber Pass so we can see some of those weird scuff guns that they make.
Yeah,
My favorite thing about Far Cry is to throw rocks at people's faces.
Yeah. Using... I wish more
Human,
games
use rock throw.
would let you use, like, just throw a thing to make a distraction as a weapon. Because it's always amusing to like, pelt people in the head with, like, stones or cans, and they'll just be, what was that?
I don't know if I saw a Viking do that.
You
So-
can kind of
Knock
do
people
that
out with your
in
magazine.
Call of Duty Warzone. After you die,
Hitman's the
you
best
get
with
sent
it.
to the gulag, and then you can just throw rocks at people.
There's two more things about Far Cry.
Hitman's the best with it because...
One was that I guess they're gonna have this kind of like little game. I think it might be part of the season pass, but like it's just sort of this game mode or just special thing where you're playing as the villains of the past games.
Oh yeah,
Like-
I saw that.
What?
Yeah, it's
I
like
saw the leak about that.
yeah. Well, I
There
mean,
was some leak saying you can play as Voss, Hageman, and what's his name?
oh, they showed footage of this thing. I think it was yesterday in the Ubisoft's thing, but yeah,
Oh, what? That sounds interesting.
yeah. Basically, there's like some some entity or whatnot. It just basically goes like, hey, so you want a second chance here? Hey, go to town. Here you go. And it's kind of sort of like a weird there's like this kind of weird magical spiritual weirdness going on as well. But it's simply just like the whole like, hey, we like these villains a lot. We want to just kind of have them do stuff again. And that's what it seems like.
Now that I think of it, actually...
Sometimes.
Now that I think of it,
Blood
actually, one of the other
Yeah.
big things that
Played that.
comes to mind that makes 5 kind of unique is the fact that it didn't really openly incorporate big supernatural elements as part of its story, right? Like,
I mean,
even when it was obvious something not real was happening, there was a clear, like, reason behind it. That reason being you just took a fuck ton of Datura and are running through the Montana woods with a rifle.
Yeah, it looks like the gameplay footage looks like it's like they're all on drugs stuff like that. That's what it looks like.
But like, yeah, and like every
boy.
other game has included some openly supernatural element to it.
well, okay, so I
Whether
feel
that
like
be
that's, I
3's
can't really say
Tatao...
for like 4, but I feel like with 3 it isn't really that supernatural because it's like the only like really super like sort of super like supernatural moments are either like your characters in like a one-on-one knife fight with someone, and you could like interpret that as like them zoning everything else out, or they're like high on mushrooms.
You don't remember the scene where you had to fight the giant temple monster with the fireballs?
Yeah, you're also on shrooms when that's happening. Don't forget.
I didn't know
Like
this stuff
literally right
happened in
before
Far
that
Cry.
right before that scene happens, you like drink mushrooms.
New Dawn gives you radiation powers, Twilight.
Speaking tripping on
God gives
things,
you radiation powers in New Dawn.
the
Actual biblical God.
part of the season season pass or whatever for Far Cry 6, Blood Dragon,
Great.
remaster Blood Dragon.
Oh my god.
I'd fuck with that.
There's an anime series coming out based off Blood Dragon
Oh,
for
yeah.
Netflix.
Kidding.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah.
I did not know about it.
Not gonna lie, it's so weird that there's a part of a season pass for Far Cry 6. Blood Dragon is getting a remaster. Like, it's such a weird thing. Like, is this going to be like a separate thing? I'm kind of curious about that. I'm kind of curious. Like, if there's a separate exe file you're running. So yeah, that's all for. There's a lot of stuff that like can be said about Far Cry, but there's still a lot more stuff that we talk about the E3 stuff, such as let's see. I don't know anything about this Atomic Heart stuff, but I'm really intrigued by that. Fruity, do you remember? Yeah, do you remember Atomic Heart?
Sounds familiar.
What was that?
I have no idea what's happening here.
So,
focus.
basically, Atomic Heart, kind of similar vibe with Stalker in terms of the atmosphere and stuff.
Oh, that explains a lot.
It's.
I can't remember this one. I'm gonna
it-
look at the video.
It was just
the
like
thing
okay.
is about Atomic Heart, though.
So, I will say, like, Atomic Heart is like a game where they've
want to stay.
really only sporadically
Nope, I'm giving
released
the
like
Funkos.
teasers and stuff for it
And
over the past few years.
Mhm.
So like, I feel like E3 was really the kind of first time we actually got to see like really
Believe in
good
Grape.
detail at it.
Mhm.
It's like
Oh,
they've shown
yeah.
a couple of gameplay teasers before, but you know, it's all the like heavily scripted
I remember
stuff.
this now.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what I was gonna say, is that like the devs don't have the best track record, and quite honestly, a lot of their stuff ended up being like, and this is all based on press leaks. Like up to this point, the only gameplay trailer we had was allegedly not even really a vertical slice. It was like, it was a Unity prefab basically, and all that stuff gave me basically no hope that Atomic Heart would ever come out. It was just another one of those Star Citizen or... Okay, that's a bit contentious, but you know what I mean? The ones that are, like, designed to get a bunch of money, and then the players just forget about it, and they go off with it. I thought it was going to be that, and then it shows up on my screen in E3, and I... What was the word? Yeah, my jaw went out my ass.
So there is a name for games like Atomic Heart. It's a lot of jank. Just basically like it's sort of like Eastern European developed game. So, you know, however it comes out, it's going to be fun. Yeah, if it comes out good, that's nice. If it comes out janky,
I would like to try to at least. We spent a lot of time talking around. I would like to at least try to describe what the game kind of looks like or feels like or just whatever a little better.
So I think like the
Soviet
sort of
punk.
official description, because I skimmed over the Steam page, is like you're playing as like a KGB special agent going to like a abandoned Russian Soviet research facility. And it's like in all the trailers you see like these like old abandoned factories of like robots and experiments gone wild and stuff.
And that's sort of different from the, I guess you could say, the initial version of it, at least what I understood. Because in that one, you were an ex-KGB agent who was going to kind of the town of the future sort of thing, right? Like, you ever seen those mock-up towns in, like, the desert that were supposed to be like, this is what humans will live like in the year 1995? And
Yeah,
it's got,
it's
like,
kinda still
portable
the same
rockets
concept.
and just stuff that's obviously wrong. And that's sort of why I say Soviet Wave, is because that stuff wasn't exclusive to America. Russia also had this massive surge of ideas for, like, what the proletariat uprising will have brought humanity by, like, 1990. And none of that stuff ever came to fruition, much like it didn't in America. So, like, it's this kind of universal disillusionment, but instead of it being... Maybe a better way of putting it would be, like, the aesthetics of Fallout, right? But instead of being in America, you're in Russia. Like, instead of it being aggressively American, it's aggressively Russian.
Well, actually, so I think
But even
the
that
way to
doesn't
describe
really
it
do
is
it
like
justice.
In terms of the design, or at least how it looks like, yeah, I'm inclined to agree with like that. It seems like that, like just Fallout, but maybe a decade or two of.
I think the way I would describe it is like just like the Soviet Tomorrowland from hell, basically.
Also, you have like sort of like in your left hand, you have like little data wires that you could pull out, like a la Cyberpunk. Like you can just like, hey, I'm just gonna just hack into this monster thing here.
Well, I think it's set in the 70s, or not the 80s, so probably not. Also, it's got really funky weapon design. I like that.
Yeah, like one of those looks like you're holding like a sort of like a
like your pistol looks like a power drill or something.
A power drill or hair dryer. Kind of looks like a hair dryer. One of the weapons. So there's that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next one here. Atomic Heart gave a little Metro Exodus mixed with Fallout. That's what Rouge said. So that's a good way. That's an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah.
It just there's something very interesting about Atomic Heart, and that's all I can go with that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Replaced.
And I was gonna say, because it's like they've kind of in the past give you like some short like kind of teasers of what will show up in Atomic Heart, and it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, like really sort of interesting stuff.
Mhm.
I don't know.
It's
Kind of
always
just easier to
been
watch it yourself because they're like 30 seconds long.
it's always been that it's stuff that's incredibly short and stuff that's comparatively easy to make in a game's design process. That's always going to put me off of the devs, just because it's like I always saw it and it's like something feels off here, right? Now that there's a lot more kind of out there, I'm more hopeful for it. That's really my input on it.
That's
But, well, I'm not gonna say I told you so if it ends up not being very good.
I feel like you probably said you could apply it to every single game that comes out.
I am kind of cynical, aren't I?
that and like I said, it's Slavjank, so even if it does come out terrible, it's still going to be fun.
Yeah.
So a game called
there was a lot of Slavjank on display across E3 this year. Kind of fond of it.
Usually it's well, I think in most cases it'd be referred to as European jank or Euro jank. That would probably
Soviet
fall under.
bloc jank. Would that work?
I usually assume that
Former Soviet bloc.
that's still. I always feel like that's kind of kept the same kind of area there.
Western European jank feels different from like Slav jank, though.
I wouldn't know at that point.
It's like a sliding scale.
There's like,
because I feel like
the exact middle of that sliding scale will tell you what the exact middle is. It's Poland.
Well, no, cause I feel like there's like Eastern European jank.
Fair.
And then there's like Slavic jank that is like that's like specifically from Russia.
Well, let's go for something for a little bit more specific here. Grounded. Something that's a game from Obsidian, which basically has you playing as a bunch of little kids, trying to survive. You know, they've been shrunk down and then to survive in the backyard kind of thing. You play with other people and stuff like that. They introduced
Obsidian, huh?
Yeah, Obsidian. It's basically just kind of sort of a horde thing against insects and stuff like that, and things in the backyard.
Huh.
But you could do stuff. You could do stuff like kind of preparing your own little base thing. You can actually sit down in couches.
That's something I think I would play, but sounds interesting.
They introduced a revolutionary new feature because they introduced a new monster. The new monster is a spider, and the feature, the arachnophobia slider. You can literally turn the spider into 2 blobs of color.
It was really smart. It was really silly, but really smart. We were looking at that like, wow, that's good.
Like you see, like these. You actually move the slider.
Wasn't there also like a Skyrim mod that plays the spiders with bears or something?
Or Spider-Man himself.
Or was that the other way?
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
I mean, but that's like with mods. This is like actual a feature in the game.
Yeah.
Twilight and Rosa say goodnight. Anyway.
Nerds.
Yeah, it's really cool how like you can kind of go with how far you want to be with making it look like kind of nothing. Like, at some point you could actually make it look like it's just like 2 blobs, but with spider textures, and you just keep going further than that. It's really neat. It's really neat they actually did that.
What are we talking about?
The arachnophobia slider for Grounded. You can turn the spider straight into just two blobs of color. But
sounds more scary.
I mean, like, it looks like you're being texted by some kind of generic alien thing, but like the thing is, there's a difference between generic alien thing and the phobia that just like it just makes no sense and you just can't get it out of you. Unless you have a phobia
I just mean like specifically for me. I'm not scared of things I understand. You know?
Yeah, I mean, well then you just keep the slider as is.
If I was walking along one day and a giant spider appeared, I'd run away because it's a giant spider that's probably attacking me,
Mm.
but not because it's a spider. Whereas, if a flown metal pipe just protruded out of the sidewalk and started flying after me, I would scream.
Fair, I guess. So
That's
there's
the thing.
a
I'm afraid of abstract.
there's a pixel game, sprite-based game called Replaced, and it's looks incredibly like it just looks super sweet. It just looks like the game looks gorgeous. I'm pretty sure it's kind of a beat 'em up thing, but like
In an oversaturated market of pixel art styles, that game stood out as beautiful.
yeah.
It's, you know what it is? You know what I think the secret sauce to good pixel games is? Lighting.
Lighting, it like that thing has lighting in spades.
Yeah, a pixel art game without good lighting and good knowledge of like shade and everything
Mm.
is the equivalent of a 3D game that constantly has matte fold right set to 1. Where it's like, yeah, it might be good for some like genres, but it's just untenable past a certain point, you know? Like, we have, as much as I hate to say it, because I feel like it puts undue stress on game devs to, like, make extra stuff, we've moved past the point where we can do flat-lit pixel art stuff, you know?
It's kind of unfortunate that. Speaking of more, actually, no. Yeah, I'll mention it now. Speaking of more sprite-based stuff and whatnot, there's a Euden Chronicle, which is a game made by people who have made like an old classic RPG thing called Suikoden, which I highly doubt most people here know about that.
Really?
But it's super pretty. It's super cool looking. It's an RPG that like has very dynamic looking fights. There was this one thing that they showed that like you're fighting some kind of like a squid monster and whatnot, and all the RPG or all the characters, all the heroes were in different locations in a cave. So like this thing had busted through a cavern wall, and everyone's on different like. Well, there's like an archer standing on a cliff side. There's some of the melee fighters standing on kind of like a sort of little rock bridge thing that's close to the enemy itself. And the camera just kind of like it just kind of follows each one that's doing some kind of cool thing, and it just feels very like satisfying to kind of just see cool things happen basically. So that might be something to look forward to.
Honestly, one thing that I kind of hope, because when I first saw this, I was, or when I first saw Suikoden and I heard what it was like based off of, I was a little bit sad that, because it was based off Water Margin, which was a book that was absolutely notorious for the metric buttload of characters it had, 108 to be specific.
Yeah, this one's also labeled. This game's also labeled 100 Heroes. So
yeah, I'm kind of hoping they pull something like Wonderful 101, where it's just like a vaguely coherent blob of people moving in a direction. That would make my day. A JRPG.
I don't know how the hell you're gonna spell this, but a Euden Chronicle. I could probably just paste it somewhere, but like it's just
probably just type in E3 and
yeah. E3 Chronicle.
Actually,
then a Euden.
There is one game that I tried to do that with, and it did not work.
Possibly one generic name.
I think we can skip ahead a little bit into the PC gaming show just for this.
I am
Please.
barely. Everyone wants to be talking about something, by the way, and I want to be talking about Kingdom Hearts at some point.
Okay, don't worry, I'll keep this quick. Basically, there was a game that was talking about space travel. It was just this guy talking about space travel for a super long period of time, and then the moon explodes, and that's it. No title of the game, nothing. I want to know what that game was. I want to know what it's about. I can't find anything about it. I typed in, I thought it was called Ixion. I typed in E3 Ixion, got a bunch of stuff for Final Fantasy XIV's Ixion. Nothing about this. It's a ghost. I must have it.
Honestly, it kind of sounds like kind of similar to the Outer Worlds 2
I was literally about to say that. It's
But they're
maybe
just
it's
oh, here's all this fancy stuff.
yeah. Outer Worlds 2 was
Screw
what's
you.
mentioned. The trailer was they showed a whole lot of cool stuff, but they said the only thing they had supposedly the only thing they had planned was just the name of the game. Everything you saw there was
such a
just
fucking great title.
and also
Trailer. It was
the
such a fucking good trailer.
the narrator was like he was a little too sarcastic for me, but then like once we got to the end I was like, okay, you know what, that's fair enough.
It's kind of the point.
Yeah
It was meant to be.
Look,
it was funny because I've seen that type of trailer so many fucking times, and then just see the guy just this narrator just calmly, just sarcastically talk about like what you see. It's like, oh my fucking god, that's genius.
I had to check.
Makes it stick out too.
I had to check about halfway through with that because I was a little bit afraid that I'd accidentally leaked into the Devolver conference.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that Devolver conference thing. Let's see. Oh, dear God, 15 people in Among Us.
Oh fucking hell.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to touch that game again just because of how it sets off like an old thing in me, but who knows?
It's a fun game and all, but but it's one of those games where I get a little too salty when I play it, just a little bit.
I cannot find people to play it with me. I'm thinking of staging a massive heist where I hold an entire bank hostage for the sole reason of getting a bunch of people to play with me. Not really, obviously. And if you think I would rob a bank for that reason, boy, you don't know me.
I'll be robbing a bank to pay off a student loan or something.
No, it's for the copper and the air conditioning vents. You can sell that to scrappers, get like 20 cents out of it. It's enough for like one candy bar.
Let's see. Forza is Forza, but apparently there's some bowling stuff in there. Seriously though, the game Forza, like the new Forza game, looks like beautiful. It's gorgeous, but racing's not my thing. So
yeah, I've never been to a race either, but they are really nice looking.
Something about a lot of these, like, Forza and, like, kind of the Riders Republic to a certain extent, too. All of these games have had this weird sort of feeling to me where it's like, you know, they're talking about being super rebellious and, like, on the edge of society and all that stuff, but then it's like... It's the same feeling I get looking at people who are, like, talking about being proud outdoorsmen, and they're really just glamping. Or people saying, like, hashtag van life when their truck has a pillow in it. That sort of deal.
Horizon had a lot, was very much a just drive. Horizon was...
Yeah.
I didn't play a lot of Forza games, I only mostly played Horizon. This is my friend convinced me to play it with her. It's really good. It's really nice to just, like, you don't even have to race, you can literally just drive around.
this one's kind of like advertising a sort of like learning AI kind of thing, whereas like it goes like, oh yeah, this player, the player likes to play a lot of arcade games, arcade things. So let's see when we get into a group of people that all these other people are just driving around. Let's see if we could initiate an arcade mode kind of thing, and it'll just simply just like pop. I mean, it's like a weird thing where just kind of your AI thing talks to the other AI things, and then ask the player like, "Hey, do you want to be taking part in this thing?" Like,
what's the full title of it? Forza what?
Forza Horizon number 5? Yeah, 5.
Horizon.
My one hope is that, because the issue I had the last time I played a Forza game was there was this one, like, I couldn't even get started because there's this one jackass who was just like, he got the biggest possible vehicle he could and he just parked it in a road, so you just couldn't do the race, you'd crash into him. And I don't think there was a way to disable it, or at least after about 15 minutes of flicking through Google, I couldn't find it. That just kind of put me off it. I hope it gets addressed. Maybe it already has been, I don't know. Maybe that fancy AI thing is the secret sauce for it.
We'll see. Let's see.
Honestly, I think it could be interesting to just, like, tick a thing that says, I want to play with players that have a track record of being disruptive or something, you know? Like, have you opt in to the people who are trash posting?
Yeah. It's actually something I do kind of hope, like, want to see them bring back is the I forgot what it's called in 4, but it's basically the Battle Royale mode, where it's just, yeah, you had to, like, go, because I liked how they did that, because it was, like, you know, everyone starts with, like, the same car, and they just randomly sprinkle cars across the map. And it's like, okay, you can, yeah, like, go find them, you have to, like, challenge and race people one-on-one, you know.
I give Volt. Honestly, so many
It's
games
I
are like
that's a
going
good way
the
of
path
doing a battle royale sort of thing. Instead of it just being,
Yeah, but so many games-
50 people in a tiny circle to shoot each other.
Eh,
Because it's like, even if you had like like a weaker card, you could still beat the other person. You know? So it's not purely who gets the best thing first wins, like a lot of other ones.
Alas, cannot add anything else to that. Like I said, it's Forza.
Me neither.
Like racing isn't my thing.
Yeah.
But
Well, next.
I am the one that is pushing this thing forward too, though. So I am going to be selfish and say Redfall. Me and Fruity are incredibly intrigued by Redfall, because like it's basically it's got a contemporary setting. Contemporary is basically the modern day. That's what I mean contemporary. However, it's got magic and technology, and also it's going to be a co-op open world game as well.
Really?
What they showed was basically like, let's see, they showed like four characters. I don't know if like they're created characters or anything like that, but like one of them, like right from the get go, you just see kind of this weird colored aura around a book that's just floating, and the camera's panning out, and you see that it's just like this woman sitting cross-legged on a convenience store counter. She's reading a book with magic. It's just telekinesis. Closes it up, throws it behind her, and she's like, blah, 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 blah. And you see the entire store that kind of wrecked, and you see a weird doggo robot thing. You see a dude who is live blogging the charred remains of some skeleton thing.
Oh my god.
Let's see.
He's like live blocking, like doing scientific data.
He's doing scientific stuff. Like he's all about scientific and stuff like that. But like he's also just blogging and stuff as well. So and then we have like the fourth character who's like he's got a hood. He's got a raven on his shoulder and whatnot. And I'm not gonna like, this is one of those things that you know people should probably watch this one. This one is a fun thing to watch. Like, yeah, I'd say Alvin said, this looks like some good reference material for Orlando Soccer Experience. That just looks.
I want to play that fucking guy with the sniper rifle and the spotter crow magic. It's so cool.
Like, it's just.
If people could put these on trailers in the E3 channel in the public Discord later, it'd be appreciated.
Yeah, I could probably. I know someone.
Would that be a different channel?
No, it would be the right channel. It would be the right channel. But like, there's been multiple places. Like, I think I could have sworn someone shared Redfall, but like it's just it has the right kind of the right tone, like just you know, I think it was like some like towards the end they were like referring to the dude with the raven, the sniper dude with the raven and his crow, saying like, all right, Edgar Allan Bro.
What?
Don't like that one.
But
yeah,
it was just it was the time.
These like modern magic shit. That's so good. It's so good. This one woman, she's got like, they need a lift to the roof, so she conjures up an elevator, like a magical construct, except it's an elevator, and they use it to go up to the roof. And then she pushes people off the roof by conjuring an umbrella. It's so good.
Oh yeah, she's got an umbrella that
sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm. Good.
The character I was interested the most with that was Remy, just because she looks to have a Boston Dynamics spot.
Yeah, yeah. That poor little robot
Or at least
too.
derived very heavily from it.
I feel so
I
bad.
just love that the little robot just headbutts the vampire at like maximum velocity.
I do feel
Through a
bad
window.
that for some reason they programmed the robot to limp when it's injured. I feel bad for it. It wasn't programmed to feel love before it was programmed to feel pain.
So, I want to point out something in there that, hey, yeah, maybe I should let people just find this out for themselves, but I'm going to be a jerk about that. In the thing itself, like, towards the end, I know some people will see this kind of cringy or whatnot, like, the Edgar Allan Poe thing, but I was perfectly fine with that, especially, like, right afterwards they said, where, like, they're like, so, you guys ever want, like, something about the ones, like, would you ever want to go back to how things used to be? And one of the other characters said, like, and had to pay my student loans? Nah. And that was one of those, like, I feel this one. I'm okay with this. Like, yeah.
You know what it is?
Uh-huh.
It feels like a refinement of the style of humor that you see in Life is Strange. I think they even take place in, like, they take place on opposite coasts. What was I about to fucking say? Sorry about that.
The thing
one
is that,
in
like,
Oregon, one is in Massachusetts. Same area.
the thing is, these are not teenagers, though. They're, like, very much like college or 20-somethings.
Yeah, and
so
honestly, I don't know. I like that.
Mm.
I like the aesthetic that Redfall is going for. I like how the characters interact.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I find Edgar Allan Bro a bit cringy, it's not like I haven't done things that are cringy on this stream, even. Hell, even today, I'm sure I've done several cringy things as we're sitting here. So, like, I can't fault him.
I'll have to look that up later. That sounds cool. The game sounds interesting as hell.
There was no actual gameplay, simply just showing you the sort of the feeling what they're going for. And the thing is that, like this kind of reminds me of Back for Blood, like, only because of the whole, like, hey, there's Back for Blood made by Left 4 Dead people, in which they had character interactions and stuff like that. But the Back 4 Blood trailers kind of always felt a little too, like, soulless or too cringy. This, yeah, someone said Edgar Allan Bro at some point, but, like, it just, like, the context felt acceptable. Like, it's just like the Raven had said something. The Raven literally just, like, kind of mimicked something, and then someone else said, okay, Edgar Allan Bro.
Yeah, like, there's no sense in crucifying the game for having a cringy line when the characters are more dynamic than basically any other four-person co-op what's it, that we've had for a long time.
And this isn't even one of those things that's like Left 4 Dead. It's an open world game.
It's fairly obviously trying to be its own thing and stuff. It just so happens it includes 4 prominent characters, right?
Yeah, 4 is the magical number when it comes to multiplayer and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's and honestly, I think it's because that's the maximum number of people you can reasonably expect someone to convince their friends to, like. You can reasonably expect someone to be able to convince at least 2 of their friends to buy a game. You can't expect them to convince. You can't run the same sort of marketing you do for this for, like, Battlefield. Because it's gonna be a fucking snowy day in hell when you get someone to convince 128 people to do anything. Let alone spend money.
That's gonna be one of those, like, something like that. That's not, you're not going in there with, like, you and a bunch of other friends. That's like you and just a handful of friends are going to go play in this big raid. It's not, you're not gathering up that much
You're
people.
Gonna squad up, yeah.
Yeah, you're squadding up.
Well, I mean, hell.
We were playing Battlefront.
Tying up to the ominous thing looming in the distance. That's how 14 does it, where the largest raids are just impossible to set up, even with the biggest free companies. So it's like, at best, it's you and, like, 8 other people. Usually it's you and 4 other people. Just, like, going into this thing where you're less than 1% of the population there, so.
Yeah, well, I do kind of feel like with Battlefield, they even still kind of like try and fund you down to the whole groups of 4 with the whole squad mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's so manageable and
like,
whatnot, but
as they increase,
you can't like convince 7 other people to buy the game to play as a full team. But you could, probably convince a couple of other people to
squad up,
buy it, to be in the same squad and stuff. Yeah,
I'll be back.
Yeah,
squad up and have the little perks.
I mean, honestly, the beauty of Battlefield, though, is that it's very hard to be salty in it, just because it's a game that operates at such extreme scale that you can't get the sort of thing you get in like League, where people complain about the team, and there are actual measurable flaws in the team. If you try to do that with the scale of a game like Battlefield, it just kind of looks like someone angrily yelling at a cloud. Just because it's like there's so many people on the team and they're all doing individual things and it's so nebulous, it's kind of hard to... It's hard to blame one person when your team loses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think that's the benefit of mass multiplayer, is it reduces the risk of an interpersonal fight. You know?
Mm. Thinking emoji.
Basically what I'm saying is that if Redfall does not include about 200 player mode, it's not going to be good.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
At that point, the game might as well be an RTS, so...
So stuff over in the Square Enix thing, which like I know there was a lot of people who were like not caring that about like most of that stuff, and unfortunately I'm gonna be I'm like not sharing the same sentiment as most of the people.
Be a rebel.
I'm one of them. It's your job in this upcoming thing to make me care about it. Let's go.
Yeah, probably I'm not gonna be convincing anyone here. The only thing I can convince is simply just be like,
Let's talk about it.
Let's see. So I'm down for an actiony version of Telltale Games' Guardian of the Galaxy. That's how I'm presenting that.
Yes.
So
I never watched Guardians of the Galaxy, but I do kind of want to get into it.
It's
Hey guys.
Probably because I
hello.
think it was Guardians of the Galaxy. Probably because it has fucking Batista in it.
Oh yeah, I think it was like in the movie. Yeah, the art style they're going for in for this game, it's not like from the other games or from the cinematic universe or anything like that. It's got a different art style to it. Rather,
It's unique on its own.
design. They have different designs, stuff like that, and it's neat. It looks neat to me. Like to me, it looks something like it doesn't have a sort of like anime sheen. It doesn't have a Western sheen. I mean, it's still Western, but like it's just like it just feels like it looks different than some other games that we might see with people who with characters that would banter to each other, and that game has a lot of banter to it.
I like that. I like the sound of that.
But not only do they have banter,
That's honestly fair enough.
they have choices that you can make that like don't that like will
Change
not
the story of the game.
I mean, yes, but I was gonna say that they do not amount to anything. Like straight up, they will like you do the thing is like this clearly looks like it's not gonna amount to anything, and it doesn't look like it amounts to anything. Like in one instance,
Great.
where like a whole bunch of characters are talking all at once, and they're like, "We need to do something about money," and then like there's like hey, get them all to shut up, ask one person, or ask Groot for his thoughts, and
ask Groot.
And the thing is that you think asking Groot is like is the joke, but like something that's just like, what's Groot gonna say? I am Groot. But the thing is that he gives a good idea that everyone was like, oh, well, okay, this sounds like a good idea. So so basically the idea is that they're gonna go to some kind of like monster buyer or something they like to buy like monsters or just creatures and whatnot, and they're gonna try to sell Groot as the idea and then break him out, save himself, but they're gonna get the money from that. And then Rocket was like, "Nah, I don't want to be I don't want to put Groot through that." And then someone else just suggested, like, what about Rocket? I mean, like, look at this guy. He's got, like, the teeth. He's beady eyed. It's hard to trust him. And then you have an actual screen which says sell Groot or sell Rocket.
Oh my god.
I mean, honestly, the one thing that I kind of hope, because you have somewhat, I'm now vaguely interested in this. So congratulations. The thing that I hope they don't do though is I hope they don't do what kind of later stages of The Walking Dead did, which I call 90-10 syndrome, where the player choices are so ridiculously weighted towards one obviously good choice that when you finally get to the thing where it says, X number of players took this option and X number of players didn't, right? 90% of people chose the obvious good option, and the other 10% saw it was an obvious good option, chose the other one ironically. And I hope they don't do that,
The thing is that, like, that sort of thing is statistics. There's a lot of people who are statistic nerds. Even if they'll get upset about it, they still like to see statistics.
No, I know. No, what I'm saying is, like, I hope that they don't make the player choices obviously weighted to one thing. That's what I mean.
So really?
So I think
if it's a choice that's, like, morally ambiguous, like the Legion versus NCR thing in New Vegas, where realistically very few people do Legions, most of them go NCR, right? That's fine. But I mean, like, stuff where it's, like, cartoonish, where it's, like, you either... I'm trying to think of something. You either pay $5 to the toll booth, or you cook and eat Rocket. Like that sort of thing.
I do have a response to that, but I'll wait for Wheatley.
Okay.
So, because I think really, kind of like building off what Otto said, like, my main issues are the Telltale games, so the style they do stuff, it's like, yeah, it doesn't really feel like your choices really have that much of an effect on the story. Because, at the end of every episode, it's going to be the same end. Just with different characters and maybe some different dialogue.
Well,
and
but
if it's something like, like, now this character appears to say this one in the future episodes. Well, like, first thing that happens in the next episode is that person gets shot, so it doesn't matter anyways. Because I seem to remember, like, with Walking Dead Season 1, like, in episode 1, you had to choose which one of two people to save. And then, like, immediately in episode 2, whoever you chose to save gets shot in the face. And it's like, okay, that was a worthless decision.
I'm back.
And
back.
that kind of issue
Welcome back.
was still there throughout all the other
Welcome
games.
back. Yes. Welcome back, Footy. Oh. Hello.
So
well, I mean, like,
I just to throw it in there, like, I get what you guys are saying. This game, though, is like, it feels very much like you're not going to be getting those kind of things, as in, like, it's like it seems very upfront, like, it doesn't.
Which game is this?
Guardians of the
Galaxy.
Got it.
I'm not sure how to go. The thing is, I haven't played through the later Mass Effect games, and I haven't gotten the feeling of like, oh yeah, what I did doesn't really matter in the end. Like, I haven't gotten to that point yet.
No, I just meant more like gameplay-wise, where it's got, like, the occasional decision, but there's a lot of gameplay in between. Like, is that more what you think it's gonna be?
There were so many decisions that we saw.
Keep in mind that, like, the footage that they showed us, it was still kind of they still kind of jumped ahead of things. This looks like it's gonna be it should be thought of more as this is an RPG. This is straight up. This is an RPG, and one of the reasons that kind of pushed that was just sort of the you get a sort of like a victory screen when you finish a battle. You get a victory screen, despite the fact that you do all these cool. These are very cool actioning things you're doing. You're doing all these cool actioning things. You tell your partners to be, hey, you do this, and then I do this. I follow it up with that, or just like this is just some really cool stuff. That's just like it just. it just makes you feel cool, including like there's a sort of a team up superpower mode, or like Star Lord just like puts on a song in his cassette player, and you hear that song as everyone's glowing with power, doing all these cool things, saying their one-liners and whatnot.
You're making me really interested in this game, dude.
Yeah, no,
honestly,
you
at the
love
very
it.
least, because
Mhm.
I'm not terribly interested
would.
in Marvel properties. It's a personal thing. I didn't grow up with it. It's hard for me to
Oh,
get into, especially with
I
the
Suggest Guardians at the very least.
Yeah, Guardians is the only thing I'd ever recommend.
Yeah.
The thing is, I never grew up with it. Like, there's no like me growing up with this. Is like simply just like I never read a single thing on Guardians of the Galaxy. But all I know is that like that's
honestly. Sorry.
Guardians is all of your found family needs. Right there.
Yes.
Fair enough. I was gonna say, if anything, just from what I've seen of Guardians of the Galaxy and kind of the tone it exudes, at the very least, this game sounds like it's going to at least be on model, for lack of a better term.
yeah.
It can't be worse than Avengers. How about
Well,
that?
We'll talk about that in
Yeah.
a moment. So actually, no, I'm not gonna. I got nothing to say about that. But
A part of me is almost like this game is worth buying. You could tell it's worth buying alone, if only because of how fucking quality that title screen is.
oh my god.
I know that's a weird
Oh my
thing
god.
to say, but that is the best title screen I've ever seen. Because of the way it's set up, you instantly know everything you need to know about each character before going into the game. And it's just phenomenal at setting. If they can make something that puts that much information into a bunch of fuckers sitting around in a spaceship, then you know that at the very least these are people who know what they're doing design-wise in terms of getting information to the player. So it will at the bare minimum be okay quality.
I think I remember Kirby comparing it to Anarchy Reigns.
Anyway, yeah.
I
yeah.
was
that what it's
about
called?
to make that reference, so fair to it.
Yeah, like I said,
That
it's
does
just
sound like an awesome screen.
this is basically it's meant to be an RPG. There's gonna be some gameplay moments that it's gonna be fun gameplay moments, but you're going along for a ride. You're there to listen to the characters, talk crap to each other. You're there to just like there's a moment where like big brute guys like they're at a place where they need to get across a ledge, and there's a mechanism to turn on the bridge. And the big brute guy is like, well, let me just throw Rocket over there. And Rocket's like, what? No, I ain't down for this. And you have a choice to either, have him throw Rocket across or just not do that. And that was one of those moments where they actually did say, like, Rocket was furious that you let Drag whatever throw him across. Drax, yeah. And the banter they had after that was pretty great. That like Star-Lord was like, wait, I thought I guess he's not like a cat. And is like, and Rocket's like,
Another small thing. Go ahead, actually.
I already lost track.
Do you know what the thing about Drax's character is?
Honorable,
his shtick.
honorable fighter.
No,
No.
but that's a part of it. He takes everything
And-
completely literally.
Mm.
So, I remember in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie when they met Drax and they were to get into the middle of a fight, someone's like, I think that went over your head. And Drax was like, nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too quick. I would catch it. That is the character of Drax. Now that was from the movie, but that is the whole character of Drax. It's not that he's just honorable. It's that he's literal. That is the thing about him. He is completely literal.
What's the thing with him and being invisible? 'Cause I forgot what the joke was. He's like, oh, I'm standing still, you can't see me.
I am
something
moving
like that.
at such a slow speed
Oh, yeah.
that I cannot be captured by the naked eye.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I remember seeing that. I immediately remember like the Portal 2 thing. He's like, I'm speaking in an accent beyond her range of comprehension. No, I can still hear you.
they spent a long time like showing stuff for that, but they was also showing like developer kind of like talk about that, like saying, hey, these I think it was Eidos Montreal that made this one. I think it was. Yeah, I think this is a studio that was making this game. Marvel said like, hey, yeah, these guys seem to they kind of get it. Like, hey, they're not adapting the movie, the cinematic universe. They're not adapting the the comics. It's like they're making a game with this IP. It's like they're making what would work best for these characters in a game. So
that's actually really good to like get people into the Guardians of the Galaxy in general. It's like something that like you can go in completely blind, enjoy, and then want to check out the other things.
Yep.
Yeah, like part of the thing that keeps me out of a lot of Marvel stuff is like, I don't want to watch 20 movies in order to vaguely understand what's happening at this point in the plot.
That's kind of always the downside of like the comics and the movies, is that like there's that feeling of like I don't want to like read this entire thing, which is fortunately they do make the one-offs, the one-shots, the spin-offs, the thing that's like this is its own thing, but you need to look for it. You need to kind of like do some amount of research. So
just like the excessive serialization is going to be the Achilles tendon for a lot of these series, believe me. Like, I think that's going to be the big thing for, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is just... It really is going to mean stuff for the people who were there, but nobody else, Like...
The thing is, I feel like I can...
about as much relevance to my life now as childhood,
I can agree. I can agree with that to some extent, but I'm just like, just wait a couple of years, a next new generation is going to be like, okay, let me check out this cool stuff. Or they're gonna make a new generation of whatever. So it's just that's how it goes with the comics. It always comes up and goes, comes and goes and whatnot. And
they're gonna have to really boil the frog with this one, though.
No,
because they literally like, I don't know. It's gonna be hard for the public, as much as I'm fully aware I'm now backtracking on something I literally said 30 seconds ago. It's gonna be hard for them to kind of do another thing like they did with Endgame and Infinity War, where they just casually crank out 2 films that are top grossing all time, and then kind of shadily release one twice. They can technically say it's the top grossing of all time, but
they're just gonna slink back.
That
being said, I will say, from the perspective of someone who did follow it up to Endgame, that was the best fucking film experience.
It is. It's actually really good.
The thing I really did not like about with Infinity War, they're like, oh yeah, well, all the characters who die in Infinity War, they're gonna stay dead. And then it's like, well, okay. Well, no, yeah, and so they have to snap. It's like they kill off half the characters. Like, oh, okay, shit, that's like that's like a really ballsy move. And next movie, he's like, oh yeah, no, we just brought back everyone, but Iron Man, Captain America, everyone else is alive now.
I think they realized it was a bad idea.
I don't think that's any realizing. They knew
because they had to plan that out in advance.
Yeah, that's not a.
I think, but that's what they said outside of the films itself. Like in the context of just watching the films, it's fucking amazing. You could hear a pin drop in the theater during the snap scene. When, like there was this thing where, like, people were like, no! And when fucking T'Challa fucking asked, people were like, no! And then Peter happened, and there was actual screaming in the audience. It was so good.
Yeah, like, and to a certain extent, I'm a little bit sad I didn't get to be part of something like that, right? But on the other, it's like, I know for a fact that when they reboot the MCU, they're gonna try and do the snap again, so maybe I'll catch that one.
I highly doubt they're gonna go. They're gonna be going with like different stories. Like there's a ton of stories. There's a ton of stories for them to go in. There's a ton of stories for them to go through.
They could easily get something equally as relevant in a completely different direction at the minute they introduce Galactus.
Yeah.
So because they're going multiverse, they are going multiverse with the stuff that they're making out after Endgame, so I could easily see a new snap being, you liked this universe? Chomp. It's gone.
Yeah, I feel like the next Spider-Man movie is just the past 3 versions of Spider-Man combined.
Pretty. You know about the
Honestly, I
concept of
can't
this thing in
remember
the
if this was
Alan
DC or
Wake?
Marvel, but Ego, the Living Planet. I want to see that happen.
Yes,
in TV.
kind of.
I want to see a planet-sized man
Well,
just be
do you think
talking.
that only works
That'd
in
be funny.
one universe?
Yeah, that was Marvel.
And
I
now
think.
it's working in other
I think
universes.
I'd like to not to delve too much into these nitty gritty stuff. Yeah, I want to continue going with the E3 stuff. Let's see.
Oh, what about what's your thoughts on the Xbox?
We just finished that. Yeah, so we're on the Square Enix thing that stuff that happened there.
Actually, before we get into Square Enix stuff, I need to get going. So.
Gord.
Do what I dare you.
Fuck.
This doesn't
Well,
pretend I said bang.
all right, so
What about the Capcom?
Did you just vaporize Wheatley?
I said I'm
Video
moving on.
games.
I'm moving on to the Square Enix stuff. Capcom thing is
Oh,
Oh, okay.
talk about some of the time.
What even was the Square Enix thing other than Guardians of the Galaxy? Though?
Which I'm going to continue with
Get
it.
to.
Yeah, Marvel's Avengers. That that was a thing. They just say, hey, blah blah blah. New stuff. Wakanda. It's hard for me to get myself to really feel motivated about that game, unfortunately, because it's just how the botched release was. But apparently, people still care for it. And you know what? More power to them. I would love to be hyped about like all those cool outfits that like you can put on the different characters. Like I've seen some of Hulk's outfits and they were like pretty snazzy. I like it a lot. But yeah. They showed off.
So sterile is my problem.
I think there's certain little things about it. There's certain little things about it that just feels kind of weird, and maybe sterile might be the word to describe it.
Yeah, it's stuff that is. It's stuff that's designed to have a veneer of like superhero stuff, but every character has to be incredibly sanitized and incredibly clean. And I think it's honestly one of the YouTubers I watch put it pretty bluntly. They thought it was because the people who do like Marvel had people basically breathing down the devs' necks, so that whatever story they wrote didn't interfere with like Phase 6002 of the cinematic universe.
Which is
Like,
it's
honestly,
such a weird concept. Like it's such a weird concept. Like if that is true, it's such a weird thing because like the video games, they can be allowed to be their own thing, but sometimes they want to have this all tied together and whatnot, which causes a problem because video games.
Go on.
Oh, what were we saying?
Yeah, like games can be their own thing, but then also Disney almost treats its fictional characters like real people. They practically have PR agents for them.
Well, I mean,
And, like,
Muppets. Then again, Disney doesn't treat Muppets. Disney doesn't treat Muppets well.
Laughs,
I bought my lenses.
Like I mean, like actually, I wouldn't be surprised if they had a PR agent for Tony Stark, in case like 25 years later, some new cultural thing makes something he says in Avengers look really bad. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, and I wouldn't be surprised if those people were the reason it feels so sterile. Like they were intending to write this okay story, but then just the agents came in and was like, so, listen, this really does not make Iron Man look good for the upcoming film about Iron Man meets Hulk meets whatever. Change it.
All right, so next topic.
I think that's what happened.
I will say that Iron Man was probably the worst example for that specifically because they let him be bad because that's the whole point of the character.
Think of at the moment, though.
That'd probably be like maybe not Captain America. T'Challa, maybe.
Speaking of which, he's showing up, in the the new season pass thing, whatever.
Yes, give me the King. One of my favorite Marvel characters. He's got. I love King characters who step down and just fucking beat the enemies of their kingdom themselves. cells. It's so good. I love that. I love that trope so much. The badass king who is like steps down to deal justice for his people. It's such a good trope. It's such a good trope. I love it.
They showed various, I guess, kind of different things going. Like, hey, Final Fantasy Pixel remake. It's kind of, or not Pixel remake, a Pixel Master. I don't know how to explain it. They're simply just gonna be making Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4. A whole bunch of old Final Fantasy games are gonna be. You can play it again at some point. There's also some extra little things for Final Fantasy Estivus, the mobile game.
Wait to once again experience sand in my boots.
Oh my god.
But it's not really much that can be said about that sort of stuff. To be honest, it's just like, hey, it's there for people who want it.
Yeah.
Babylon Fall.
Time to beat up some Spoonie Bards.
So Babylon Fall is a game that is Platinum Games. People who made Bayonetta and such. And Nier Automata, rather assisted. It's basically because of their assistance with their assistance with Nier Automata. They're like, hey, let's have them help us out with Babylon Fall as well. So that's the thing we gotta keep in mind. This is not a Platinum's game joint thing. I think this is simply like Platinum Games came in to help assist giving a action game thing here. So this is meant to be sort of, I think it might be a roguelike. I could be wrong about that, but it just seems like a thing you do. You play with friends. Everyone's got different classes and whatnot, and you're going through some stuff, and you're going to have solid gameplay. I just don't know about like if there's going to be like sort of solid story or whatnot. Let's hope. I'm going to hope for the best, but I'm just gonna simply assume, okay, this is the version of Platinum Games that makes games for Activision, for example. Like, not that just saying they were bad games. It's just sort of like there's a difference between Platinum Games making Korra versus Bayonetta, I guess.
Or Nier.
Yeah, this comes off as one of their like AA games. I'd put it right around like Wonderful 101, to be honest. Maybe a little lower.
Maybe lower than that. Yeah, I'd say like put it a little bit lower.
Platinum does not just do AAA budget games. They do a lot of small games here and there.
It looks like it'd be an enjoyable game. It's just not. It's a burger. It's just a hamburger. It's just a hamburger.
It's not platinum quality.
It's a hamburger, not a cheeseburger.
Speaking of it looks like an enjoyable game. The one that really stood out to me as something I was terminally curious about had one of the shortest trailers. The Wandering Village. Is a trailer that is literally blink if you miss it, and you miss it. It's like 30 seconds long. It shows up.
Yeah, I guess I missed it too.
Stuff.
The Wandering Village.
It is literally just a city building game or a village building game, with the caveat being you're on the back of a giant dinosaur.
Okay, that sounds neat.
Yeah.
Well,
the trailer was
I gotta head to
stupid
bed.
short, but what I saw was amazing.
Good night, Cosmic.
Yes, have fun with that. Also, good luck for E3 tomorrow. Aside for Nintendo.
Yep.
Oh boy. Oh god. Oh boy.
Why, what's tomorrow?
Nintendo.
You have a good one though, Cosmic.
Let's see. There was some other little random stuff there, but they showed some sizzle reels type of stuff, which I know probably basically like they didn't talk about Kingdom Hearts, they didn't talk about Final Fantasy 16. Wait, did they show some footage of 16? They showed a little bit.
The old trailer footage.
Yeah, they showed old. A little bit tiny bit. Yeah, which that game looks like what the heck? It's like Devil May Cry Final Fantasy though. So
still praying to God it comes out on PC at a timely fashion.
Yeah. Let's hope for that.
I really want that on PC. Otherwise, I might have to actually go fucking buy a PlayStation.
So, Stranger of Paradise. This one
That's a
there was
name.
that Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. There was like
I am down for
yeah,
that.
me and Fruity were
That looks like some anime bullshit, and I love it.
yeah, me and Fruity are down for that. But there was a lot of people who were like really upset about that. But the thing is that like a lot of people were coming from like, you know, where's Kingdom Hearts information, where's all this sort of stuff. Like there's a lot of like I'm gonna say that there's a lot of people who come in going like COVID never happened. Like people are just like there's a lot of people who are just expecting a lot of stuff, a lot of like certain other stuff to be a certain quality and whatnot. And they're really upset about this one. However, there's some good reasons why they're a little upset about this specific thing. The main character seems like he's just some blonde dude with rather buzz cut blonde dude with a t-shirt.
It's
I guess.
a Nomura design.
He very much looks like the character in a game that has character customization. If that makes any sense.
Shadow, do you remember who Luxord is from Kingdom Hearts? Gambler?
Luxord. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's the gambler from the gambler organization
yes,
member. Dude kind of looks like Luxord, basically, but with a t-shirt and slacks. That's what he looks like. And also, the thing that people are like basically like going all about is it's basically chaos. He says, I'm going to kill chaos. I'm here to stop chaos. I feel chaos all around us.
That damn fourth Chaos Emerald.
Yeah, he said chaos 8 times in this thing. 8 times. So it's a bit of
sounds like a game that is easy to make fun of, but
oh yeah, it's gonna be.
It is actually probably gonna be enjoyable.
So people are thinking this might actually be a Souls-like. This is a Final Fantasy Souls-like. Yeah. That's basically based off of the rumors and stuff like that, because this is being made by the same studio that made Neo.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
And a little thing about that though, if you recognize the name Chaos, that actually is a specific thing in reference to Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah. I was gonna
bad guy.
I was gonna get to that. They're showing all this sort of footage, like some cool combat and stuff like that. It looks neat, and like, you know, you kind of do like some. They're getting around doing violent finishers by having the enemy like start crystallizing up. Like this crystal starts start growing out of their body as the dude's ripping them apart, and then like as he like finally like rips it completely apart, there's just all this like crystals all over the place. So like they're getting around being like bloody violent and stuff like that by, you know, doing some stuff. Like it's a cool way of doing that. But they also notes. Some people were saying, oh, all he's just doing is like wearing a hi, hello. We're talking about gameplay or the E3 stuff, so that's why we're just kind of chilling here. Some people were saying, hey, the wearing some jacket thing or t-shirt thing. It looks like he can change his class. He doesn't only just use big, you know, metal sword. He can use a spear. He can use hatchets, and his outfits change. So, and one of them was sword and shield. One was like daggers, stuff like that.
That's what I was sort of trying to get at, where I said he looks like a character from a game that has customization. Where it's like the baseline character who shows up in the trailers is always super plain and generic, but then the customization kind of makes up for it. I don't think it's going to end up like that, but at the very least they seem to change the appearance up a bit.
It's possible. I think in Neo,
If I had to play
the armor sets you wear in Neo is like it changes what the character looks like. So there's that. They have that system.
I would hope that all of the armor doesn't share the exact same model. If it did, I think something went wrong.
I'm starting to get confused if I'm confusing them with another game. Regardless, so yeah, dude's going chaos, and you know, I'm hearing this guy talking about chaos, I'm like, Isn't that the name of something from Final Fantasy 1? And then they come across this dude who's just like sitting on his perch with a nice armor. I was like, hold on a second here. And they name drop Garland. And that is in fact he's villain from Final Fantasy 1. So he wants to become Chaos. So
it's a villain from many Final Fantasy games.
wait, was he? I thought he was simply like a sort of a minor kind of little random. Hey, here's a cameo appearance in those others.
He's mostly from 1, I believe.
He is from 1, but I do believe he shows up in a couple of more, or like his ancestors or some shit like that. Because I know there's Garland does get name dropped quite a bit. So.
Because I know I know there was I forgot his name. Dude from Final Fantasy started in Final Fantasy 5, Freddy. Dimension Hopper dude.
Yeah, Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh, yeah.
It's the same one every time. I still want a Gilgamesh fight in Kingdom Hearts. He'd be the perfect Sephiroth replacement.
Yes.
I want to show you something, right? First of all, I'm really sorry for this, but I have to do it. Hold out your hands.
Okay. Ah! Ah!
Keyblade sort of accessory.
You mentioned Kingdom Hearts first. You gotta bring it up.
Kingdom Hearts. Keyblades.
People want
I'm sorry. I had to do it to you.
Did you? Free, hold on, free.
No, you need to give it to me.
Oh boy, here we go. Good luck with this one, Chief.
One more quick thing about that though. What do you think about Ventus?
He's a cool dude. Looking for Roxas,
Do
but
you like the way he holds his keyblade?
oh yeah, yeah. Oh my god. Ah.
Anyway, I've been working on this for like hours, so I just wanted to show you that. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's good work. Good work. I wish I had the time to make you have the cool effects in that too. Oh. Oh no.
I had like a little bit of time today. I was like, you know what? It has to.
Just.
It has to have a good sound.
Absolutely, it does.
I might just duct tape the Keyblade to Agatha and be done with it.
No. Sorry.
Just bolt it to his arm or something.
Hey. Yeah, my sword. My sword exists.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Something else exists now.
I'm gonna like lose my hair over this, aren't I?
Probably.
Just don't worry about it. Let's not worry about it.
Really? I'm worried about it.
We'll worry about it later.
Hold on,
I
let's
mean,
see.
you should, but that's on your own time.
Alright, anyway. I'm gonna jump out. I was just like literally on the test this and I saw you on. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go torment you.
And you brought in some good timing because we were actually just going to finally delve into spoilers for related to Kingdom Hearts stuff.
Yes, Union Cross.
Fruity. Hold on.
I'm gonna
Hold on.
dip because I haven't even passed Birth by Sleep yet, so I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Fans that would not be spoiled.
Yeah.
Alright, you won't get to see what I've made then. That I'm working on, ironically enough, 3D model-wise.
Toodles.
That was a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I was trying so hard to get free to just hold on a moment. Just hold on a moment. Let the person who's still playing through it. All right. So
once Fruity starts, you can't stop her.
Well, Kirby can.
Barely.
See,
barely.
I'm like that too, I just don't know anything dangerous.
A lot of times you can't.
So yeah, we are actually done with the Square Enix thing. Like it's just weird. It's just weird that that's kind of like all they had, but at the same time, like I said, COVID. And Capcom also had a thing too, but it was simply just kind of just showing some new stuff for existing games. They didn't show any of the stuff that they kind of teased or talked about last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, bummer that, but I'm assuming they're going to wait for sometime in September, I think. Kind of talk about more of the stuff. But, let's see. Yeah, and the way like they kind of like handle some of the COVID stuff. Like, I think Glenn said a lot of the Japanese devs had to stop stop colds because of recent COVID outbreak. So, but hopefully things will be better. Hopefully things will normalize next year. Because even if we were going to be getting the whole vaccine stuff this year, like it's still going to be. It was going to take more than a year. It was going to take a while before we normalize. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, there wasn't really much to be talking about in regards to Capcom, other than like, hey, Resident Evil 8. Yeah. There's nothing really much to talk about. And Monster Hunter. So, like I said, folks, I'm just giving a bit of a warning right now. Those watching and those around, if we are going to be talking about the spoilers from the mobile game Union Cross and from Melody of Memories, mainly because we're not going to play that, and I'm not going to sit through 7 hours of playing Melody of Memories just to get 25 minutes of a teaser. So
yeah.
Honestly, I'm not going to be playing through it either, but I'm probably going to just head out here. I'm starting to feel my eyelids get a bit heavy.
Okay. Fair. Okay.
Kingdom Hearts. More needs to get me into Kingdom Hearts eventually.
So,
I need to check to see. I think Epic has controller support for the games.
Yeah, they do.
I think.
Yeah, it's.
Okay.
I'd say that the PC versions are all the best versions of Kingdom Hearts, of all the entire Kingdom Hearts series.
Eventually, I'll get into them. Eventually, I got so much to fucking play.
So let's I guess we probably tackle Melody of Memory, since I think Fruity's busy right now.
Yes.
So Melody of Memory, that game is basically, it's a rhythm game. You're going through, basically you're playing through the entire Kingdom Hearts series, like all the games, and you listen to the music as well. Or rather, you're playing to the beat of the music, and you actually can change your teams. Rather, you can't take the team makeup, but you can change who you got as a team. Like, you have the classic team, Sora, Donald, Goofy. Then you get the team that's referred to as Team Days, which is Roxas, Axel, and Shion. We're in their
Best team, by the way.
they're wearing their organization outfits. You can play them in any level too. So it's like once you unlock them, it's like, yeah, you can play them on anyone. Then you have Team what are they referred to as? Team Sleep? No. No, they called it Team BBS. So it's kind of like
BBS.
Birth by Sleep. I hope that I wish it was Wayfinders, but no, it's just Team BBS. And it's just
They'll always be the Wayfinders to us.
Yeah. So it's Terra, Ventus, Aqua. And then the one that just made me go like, what? Team Sleep, I think. No, not Team Sleep. Team Dreams. Yeah, Team Dreams. Sorry, Team Dreams. And it's basically
Such a good name, though.
It's Riku with 2 Dream Eaters.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
So, in some instances, you can go like that doesn't sound as hype, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Sora, Riku, and Kairi?
Correct.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know it's weird, but to be fair, the problem is that for some strange reason, Kairi just is just. She always keeps getting the raw end of the stick. Like she's just she doesn't get to be cool or whatever. I mean, she does get some moments, but
I remember seeing
Because I
Yeah.
saw the little bit of a gameplay in her in 3, and I was just like, because somebody made the whole Organization 13 fight, the massive one. And I
Yeah.
just saw her fighting, and I was like, she looks really fucking fun to play as.
Yep, but you could only fight as her in just one little moment in that DLC.
Why the fuck they keep doing that girl?
I
dirty?
don't know. I don't understand it. I don't understand why they keep doing that to her. But speaking of her, so once you beat all the stuff, basically what's happening is that she's the one that's kind of like narrating the recap. As you're going through, there's a bit of recap showing some footage from the games, and when you get to I guess like once you're done with all that, Kyrie kind of just she's kind of things are going from her point of view, as in like, she shows up in the final world, the place that has like the cloud, all the clouds, the mirrory ground, and she's just kind of just walking there. She's like, what's going on here? Where am I? Familiar? And then all of a sudden she gets attacked by Xehanort, or rather, she attacks Xehanort. Xehanort appears, and she attacks Xehanort. And that's kind of a like
she does.
It kind of leaves you going like, what's going on here? Why is she attacking Xehanort if Xehanort's already, he's like, all right, I'll leave your kids be. I'll leave you alone now. I've been defeated, I guess. And that's basically just sort of like a memory remnants of Xehanort. And he happens to know information. Pretty, you there? No, you're still not there. That sucks.
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, just unmute.
I think I might be needing some help here to trying to remember what exactly was like when Xehanort appeared to appear. Go ahead.
To Kyrie, it was a projection of like the traumatic memories associated with him, so to speak, or like just like the bad JoJo mood vibes, because it's Kingdom Hearts. Really, it's about traumatic memories. But Kingdom Hearts, bad JoJo mood vibes.
And then she was basically she was getting wrecked. She was basically getting wrecked too. And
Boots has a thing to say about Xehanort.
she was basically getting wrecked, and she's like, I want to find, like, I'm gonna beat you up, and he's like, don't you want to know information though? And she's like, no. And then she gets knocked down, and then he's like, well, fine, guess I'll just go wreck you now. And suddenly she becomes Sora. She becomes Sora. Doesn't say, she's not saying anything.
Is everyone Sora at this point?
There's not even any words from Sora. And then Xehanort's like, I see. That's where you are. You may not be able to talk, but you can still do something, huh? And yeah, basically, like, Sora stops him, and yeah, that's right. His voice cannot reach them. Issa, how do you already know that? Yeah, his voice cannot reach them is the thing. Is what was said there. And then they were just like, I guess they talked a little bit. Oh yeah. There's sort of a bit of a Xehanort was like, hey, let me remind you about something. Let me go back. And he started going backwards in like other forms he's taken on. He changed to Xemnas, he changed to Ansem, and then he changed to Terranort. At least the version that was like the one doing science things. And then he talked, and he was reciting something he told Kyrie in the past. He was the reason why Kyrie made her way to Destiny Islands. He set her off like Superman, going, hey, there's stuff going on.
What the fuck?
There's stuff is going on, and we're going to need you to try to take care of this. Hopefully you land in a place that you can actually be helpful in. But there's going to be a chance where, you're going to be sent to a place that's like I guess, I forgot it was something about like taken over by darkness or something. Do you remember what it was that Terranort said?
A place that is neither light nor darkness.
Yeah, that's. And he said something along the lines like, if that's the case, then I guess we failed. Or rather, your mission is a failure. but maybe something could still be done about it. So that just leads to a whole like, hold on, this is Terranor, were you not like, aren't you the bad guy? Are you telling me you sent Kyrie out here to save the? Is this like, did you have some kind of insight to save the day? What? Hello? But that kind of started pushing a little bit the whole idea that Xehanort is the real bad guy. The other ones were their own individuals. Xemnas was his own individual. He kind of showed that he actually did care about his teammates. It's just that he was still so like I need to do this. I need to lie to them, and I need to do this.
The fact that Xemnas cared about Organization 13 just makes me so happy.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like yes, he used them. He tricked them. He lied to them about the whole nobody can't have a heart. But upon when he was being defeated, he was just sort of like as I'm being defeated, I'm just thinking about
I took them for granted was his line.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, like he looked like he sounded like he was kind of like genuinely like I feel bad for what I did. Like I'm still like he's probably very much like I was still gonna do what I was gonna do, but I don't feel good about it. Yeah, like when he said he finally felt something again, and it's something
Loneliness.
Yeah. So
Xemnas is a character I really liked.
Mm-hmm. It's so weird that we got like so many. We got another revelation. I didn't think we were gonna get another Xemnas revelation. Like I thought he was big enough that hey, Xemnas lied to them all along that the nobodies can in fact get hearts. Demix, poor Demix. Also, what the heck is going on with Demix in Luxord?
Luxord is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm. But before
Those fuckers have secrets, and I need to know.
So, continuing on, this was information that was, I guess, discussed and passed on to people when Kyrie woke up. Rather, when she woke up in the place inside of Hollow Bastion, where God, I forgot what their names were. Their non-organization names. I know Evan.
Lee.
No, Lee was not there. Yenzo,
Oh,
Lee.
there.
Yeah, Lee. Oh no. Yenzo, Evan, and the real Ansem. They're like, hey, so information, and they're just like, something like
Could
finding.
the real Ansem please stand up?
Like source somewhere, but his voice can't reach us. And in the end, they're just saying like, Sora might have gone off into a place that's referred to as like, I guess he's not in any of the normal realms. He's not in the realm of reality. And so was saying perhaps he's in a place of unreality. What was the other thing he said? He was unreality or fiction. Or fiction. He's in a world of fiction, possibly.
A world of neither light nor dark has to be a world that does not exist. Therefore, it has to be unreality. Therefore, it has to be fiction.
Which kind of makes me think about Shion, because her organization number was I. As in the imaginary number I. Math and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. But, like, that means that Shion could still be very important, too. Because if Sora's in an imaginary place, then maybe someone else who has some imaginary connections, maybe can tap into him. But that also means that, like, let's see, Riku showed up alongside the fairy godmother, and they're like, so we have 3 parts. We need 3 parts to find Sora. We have Kairi, we have Riku, Those are those are two keys. We need the third key. The third key is back in the world of the final worlds, and they talk to someone. They talk to someone who Sora apparently had had contacted in there. I don't know if anyone remembers the whole talking to weird star-shaped things, and they all had something to say. They had their regrets, or they wish they had something.
I'm sure a lot of people might have remembered.
One of them, which was the one that they were talking to, which was the third key. We're thinking, me and Fruity were thinking, and also I guess some part of the internet as well, are thinking that maybe she is the woman from the VRChat fake game trailer. If people remember what that fake game trailer was, like when you go into Toy Story World, it's that cool Final Fantasy-esque thing that plays with, Yozora in there and whatnot. And in that trailer thingy, she does disappear into some kind of weird portal thingy or whatever. So it just really weird because like the implications that like Sora got thrown into a video game that somehow is a real place. And
ironically enough, this would also make Winnie the Pooh a highly relevant world by this plot development. It's possible that they were looking into fucking Winnie the Pooh because of the nature of looking into unreality.
And yeah, and there was moments where like in Kingdom Hearts 2, Shadows or rather Heartless were literally pulling out. They're not like kind of destroying the book in that moment. They were literally carrying the book out as if they had some kind of order to do so. So, yeah.
Heartless also could not get into Winnie the Pooh world, and the whole thing about unreality and why it's so important is because it's a place of either light or darkness. Heartless cannot get there.
And I think we wound up looking at. Yes. It was from Freeze Mike. So there was a thing. I think we rewatched the stuff when you fought Yozora in the DLC thing. Like if you lose or if you win, there's a different situation there. And if you lose, that's the one where like Yozora's inside of Yozora's kind of like he's like initially he was saying like I'm not Sora, you see me as Yozora, huh? Well, I'm not him, but I'm gonna fight you anyways. Let's see. And I need to save you. Yeah, like, he's like, I need to save you. And so we get to a part where like after that, Yozora, who's quote unquote the real Yozora, he's kind of like he just wakes up and is like, what was that dream? That was so weird. And then at some point the camera pans over to the back to like the person who I guess maybe is driving him. And it sounds and looks like Luxord. For whatever reason, he's there. So that kind of makes one go like, okay, this world, this VRChat world is important because Yozora was there, Sora fought Yozora, and Luxord is in there. What the heck is going on with that? So, Fruity, you could now talk about,
Oh boy, here we go.
Let me put on my. I need to use the bathroom now. You go ahead.
But I want to hear this.
Yes.
The reason, as I mentioned before, that unreality is important is because it is. Imagine the Kingdom Hearts universe as a sheet of paper, right? And there's two sides to the sheet of paper. On the top side, you've got the world of Kingdom Hearts, all the Disney stuff, whatever. And it's got light and dark. If you're on the top side of the sheet of paper, there is no place you can run away that darkness will not eventually get to. And because of that, there will always be darkness on the top side of the sheet of paper. But because the top side of the sheet of paper is made the way that it is, if you go to the other side of the sheet of paper, the bottom side, the darkness can't get there. Neither can necessarily the light. Unless you do some freaky bullshit. So, that is the whole goal of the character known as the Master of Masters. Because his whole goal is to finally fucking stop this bullshit cycle of light and darkness, or specifically the darkness, that keeps causing all of these fucking tearing humans apart, war-creating, soul-sucking bullshit. But there's some things about the nature of darkness as an entity that make it difficult. Because not only is there darkness, in the darkness, of which most of which are the Heartless, which are kind of swarm, hive mind, formless, but they do have a will to do things. There are a special group of darkness with a D. There's also darkness with a D capitalized.
Oh my god.
But a part of darkness with a lowercase d.
Oh my god.
And of these capital D darknesses, there are 13 special ones. There are 13 entities which are darkness with a capital D.
Has to be 13.
And these 13 are special because so long as they do not have a form, they cannot be defeated. And so darkness can never be defeated. But, in exchange, they kind of aimless and don't really know what they're doing. They're kind of like, they're intelligent, they're sentient, they're dangerous, but they don't necessarily have a will. They just kind of act instinctually, but they're smart, but they don't know what to do without, like, a driving force. So, in order to defeat darkness with a capital D, the Master of Masters set up this entire warfare that got thousands, hundreds of thousands of actual children and young adults killed to trap the darkness in 2 separate places. The 7 most powerful of the 13 darknesses were to be trapped in him and his apprentices, so the Union leaders, Luciu and the Master of Masters. The other 6 were to be trapped in the data world that the Dandelions ran off to. One managed to get out by hopping on Ventus. That is Vanitas, or at least a part of Vanitas. The other of the ones that are left, one stuck behind in the real world as a backup, but got fucking yeeted by Luciu. Somehow, that one's not been explained yet. The other 4 are now trapped permanently in the data world that was created by the Master of Masters for the
Remind them who Luciu is.
Luciu is the 6th of the apprentices of the Master of Masters, the one that did not have a Union lead. He's also Zigbar. Zigbar, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
we just corrected some things
oh
up.
god, where am I going here? And the 4 other, so there was the 7 strongest, which got trapped in the Master and his apprentices. Theoretically, we don't see it happen, so we don't know for sure how well that went. We know that 2 of them, one got out. One is with Ventus and Vanitas and whatever that situation is. One is possibly defeated but unaccounted for, and 4 are now trapped in the special data world that the Dandelions were sent. Now, they were sent to not just any data world, but a special one, which is not connected to other data worlds very well. Like, data worlds have their own little, like, Traverse Town type place, hubs to go and travel between each other. The one the Dandelions went to was specially built to be a fucking prison for these darknesses. Unfortunately, it's also a prison for most of the Dandelions, too. Which means that when the data world started to collapse because of the Master's plan, only a couple individuals managed to escape and get out. Everyone else got fucking trapped and sort of deleted, which is how all those Dandelions end up turning into the child soldier dream eaters that we see in later games, because they were basically forcefully put to sleep.
fucking tree eaters are fucking. Get over those memes. Just
That's not even okay. So, in the process of the party in Union Cross figuring this out and going, what the fuck, man? Right? They don't figure out all of it, but they figure out, like, yo, this world was built to die? This isn't fucking fair. We gotta figure out what to do. In the process of you, the character, and the new 5 Union leaders, who are a hell of a lot better than the old 5, intentionally, are trying to figure out what to do to stop this. Turns out they can't, but they can at least save a couple people. So there's these emergency exit things that people can use to get out of the data world and then travel to the future. Problem is that those pods, those pods have a side effect of obliterating your fucking body when they travel to the future.
And welcome back, Kobe.
But using specific time travel mechanics, you can come back. So, in these pods, they decide, we gotta figure out what to do. We don't have a lot of time. We're gonna send most of the pods out of the data world. We're gonna leave one here so that someone can use it to escape if we need to, or to come back. And then the rest are just gonna preemptively go to the future because we gotta find out. We need some people who know everything in the future, and we've gotta find out what happened to a certain person who was murdered. We need someone to solve that murder mystery plot. So in that group, Laurium, who is later Marluxia, Elrena, who is later
Marluxia is pink-haired, scythe death person, organization member.
Lord of the Castle.
The graceful assassin.
Elrena, who is later Larxene, who's like the yellow-haired bitch, Org 13 member. Ventus, with the darkness attached to him, are the first group to go. They're the ones who are basically assigned with fixing the murder mystery and also figuring out how to fix whatever the fuck darkness did to Ven. Unfortunately, they didn't know about the pods obliterating your fucking body, which ends up having the side effect of removing it. It's got a nasty side effect of amnesia, so to speak. It's time travel mechanics, yada yada. It's got a nasty side effect of amnesia, so that murder mystery plot and figuring out how to fix Ven end up becoming on hold when they all go to the future. Because they fucking forget. The other thing, the other person who leaves the data world is Brain, who is the smart guy of the group. He leaves with the intent to come back to the data world once he uses the information outside to figure out, okay, how am I going to save everyone in the data world? Before he can do that, Luxu, who has been in the real world, walks in and goes, "You can't. Bye, kid," and steals his body. And that is the first body Luxu wears in many bodies before he becomes Braig and eventually Zigbar. But because his heart is now removed from his body, that gives Brain, not Braig, the ability to time travel into the future, and using time travel mechanics, he was able to reform a new body at his new location, so now there's two Brain's body running around. He was duplicated. One of which houses Luxu's soul, the other of which houses his own soul, or heart rather. That leaves one pod in the data world, 2 pods in the data world, because the problem ended up being, even if we can only save a handful of people, of the best of us, there's 8. There was like 6 pods, but 7 people to save. One of this is a player and your 2 best friends. A guy named, what's his name? Ephemer, and a girl named Sculpt. The darknesses, however, after you send off the first group, end up catching on to you and going, no, we're gonna yoink all of your bodies and we're gonna just escape with you so that we can infect the future world. Lol. We can infect the real world, lol. So your player character decides to pull a big brain move and pretend to be possessed by one of the darkness anyway, because there's one that's unaccounted for, so we could pretend they could pretend that one was already possessing the player. So you fight your best friends, it's a really sad moment, and your friend Ephemer is forced to basically use the Keyblade powers to yeet you into a different part of the data world and seal the door on his end. And it's sad, and he's like, oh fuck, now I guess it's just you and me, Skuld, we gotta go. And he's crying and everything. And then on the other end, you, the player, are with the other darknesses, and they're like, haha, yes, we can go back and, you know, take over their bodies now that they're weak in the pods on the way out. And then you stand up and go, lol, you stupid bitches, I was lying, and you lock the door to that place where the pods are from the other side of that doorway Ephemer made. So they're stuck there in the crumbling crumbling data world. So they're like, no, and you're like, haha, lol, fuck you, yeet, as you die. And everyone
What
in
a
the data world
champion.
dies. Yes.
What a fucking champion.
That was you, the player. And as everyone is dissipating in the data world, they're turning into
You'll look
Dream
this up
Eaters.
later.
They are turning into Dream Eaters. And the Dream Eaters, your friend Shirathi, who is like your own personal little Dream Eater, who then who helps you, says you can go to sleep, or you can move on and reincarnate into a new life, or join some other soul or whatever. And you're like, you know what? I think I want one last adventure. And guess who you reincarnate/share your soul as?
Who?
Fucking Xehanorts. So, you are the reason, because you just wanted another adventure and to maybe see your friends again in the real world, you're the reason Xehanort has all these fucking war trauma flashback dream memories.
You're the reason
make him
why
obsessed
he's
with the Keyblade War.
obsessed.
So, you are now Playanort. You got Norted, and you're the reason Xehanort did everything that he did. Good job fixing it, buddy. And as a little bit into Dark Road, because Dark Road is the thing that follows the Xehanort, or Playernort, as Xehanort, in the future. And one of the things he says very early on is really, it's almost kind of like illuminating on his motives a little bit, because young Xehanort as a character always was someone who is like his older self and player have been fucking him over with giving him feelings of memories he doesn't remember and never experienced. So he feels a desperation to see the friends in his dreams once again, despite not knowing who those people are, not having personally been there. Kind of like how Roxas makes Sora fucking sad, despite the fact that Sora didn't experience personally the things Roxas did. You and Xehanort himself in the future, using his fucking time travel bullshit, have been fucking over young Xehanort's mind from both directions of the timeline. Horribly. So, his motivation early on, at the very beginning of all this, is, I just want to feel the friends and see the friends in my dreams that I lost all those years ago one more time. And that is your fucking war trauma PTSD bullshit that you slapped onto Xehanort, and future Xehanort's fucking timeline screwing with your brain to make you feel like you want to do certain things bullshit from the future have been basically force tugging young Xehanort into the direction of old Xehanort. Congratulations. You played yourself.
Congratulations. You're the problem.
I need to look this game up in detail later.
What time is it? 2:03 a.m.
And that's like a vague I'm nowhere near done with most of that. Oh god, there's a lot I could go into, but nah.
That's basically just that was it. Like that was just
a nutshell. In a nutshell.
Yeah. TLDR, all your friends are dead. All your friends that were in the original Keyblade War are dead. All your friends from the Dandelions are comatose asleep. They're practically dead, and they're now Dream Eaters. Your closest friends got escaped, but most of them lost their fucking memories, and therefore all the stuff that they planned didn't work out. One of your friends got his body fucking stolen, and the last one of you, and you yourself, you got worsted dead. You got player norded.
Player norded.
You became the reason why. You became the reason why another Keyblade War almost bit. I mean, I guess another Keyblade practically happened.
Nording. It's a reverse Xehanording, but you got norded.
And the thing is, I think that
you became the very thing you sought to destroy.
a thing to bring back to mention the Master of Masters, like he's the one that kind of orchestrated all this sort of stuff. Like he's trying to.
He did all of this just to have a waypoint to the future, as step 1 of his 80-step plan.
Well, I mean, yes, but also like all of this stuff is happening to defeat, to break all the cycle stuff and whatnot. But the thing is that his method was like, well, I kind of need to I'm
gonna get billions of kids killed.
Yeah.
Destroy the fucking universe.
Yeah.
I want to see hellish torture.
Yeah, that's that. Like he's doing the long run, kind of like saving the day, and he basically
implied that at the very end he does intend to bring everyone back, but at the same time it's like, motherfucker, like they're gonna be fucking destroyed, even if you bring them back.
I think it was sort of like a kind of implied, kind of like if there was someone who had a better solution, he'd probably be like, go right on ahead and try it. I don't know like where that was implied, or if that's something that kind of like we just simply inferred from how he does
heavily
things.
Implied that he would be down for if someone had a better solution and they could prove that it would work, he would take it in a heartbeat. But he's also the Master of Masters, a master of the Keyblade, fully knowledgeable, has years and years of future sight, based on the things that Lucio has seen, to back up his findings. If he can't figure out, like the idea is that if he can't figure out a way to around all of this bullshit, who could?
Wait, I just realized something. Like it just hit me right now. He is constantly getting new information. In the far ancient past, he is still getting more information about the future. So, so that means if someone were like, we need to go back and kill Master Masters, he's gonna be like, oh, okay, I see. It's been someone said they want to kill me from the about 20 trillion years in the future. Gotcha. Let's deal with that. Hey, Lucio, can you make sure you go take a left at Albuquerque when you in about 30 billion years? Thank you. Oh my god, I don't know how to feel about that.
Fucking Master of Masters is fucking great.
Speedy, I hope it doesn't happen.
I shall hop off now.
Take care.
Have a good night, everyone.
Speedy said, "Are we the Master of Masters?" And I'm like, I hope that's not the twist, because which version of us is it? You mean Sora or
fucking Sora? I'm going to strangle Nomura. I'm going to go to his house and strangle him.
A lot of people think it might be him.
You know what the worst thing is that makes me think it might be Sora?
What?
I can't remember for sure, but I think he does the thing that Sora does where he puts his arms up behind his back. I'm not sure.
Oh my god.
No. Other people do that too. Other characters have done that too. I think like I think maybe Tidus does that, or Waka. I know Waka doesn't.
Yes, it's going to be fucking Waka and Tidus.
Let's not forget, Ventus also do that too.
Yeah.
I think.
I like to think that gives us at least a clue as to who it could be.
I don't think that. I think that's a Japanese trope. That is a Japanese.
It is.
Yeah, the whole like just. I mean, haven't you seen me put my arms behind? Like this.
Yes, you do that all the time, Sora.
I've done it a few times myself, but every time I do it, my fucking tracking goes fucking sideways. And again, I do more like I put them on my head.
Wouldn't the
instead of
master
behind
I do it all the time. None of you guys just seem to notice.
Wouldn't Master Masters only have one eye since he put his? I mean, yeah, he'd just have one eye. But like, what if this Sora is, or rather, what if Master Masters is future Sora, gone back to spy on him on his past self?
I feel like
Sure
the fuck.
they're doing
I
the
feel
right
like they would. I feel like they would extremely fucking make it so it's like you think it's Sora, the more and more you go in, and then it's like lol, it's not.
I mean, I'm just saying. I hope it's not. That is not a. I don't want that as a twist. No, please no.
It's too predictable, honestly.
What is Riku?
The only reason why I'm worried is because that eye is blue. That eye in the Keyblade is blue.
Hmm.
Oh, right.
Contacts!
The actual Keyblade.
Unless contacts, yes. Or unless someone has heterochromia as well.
Oh.
Hmm.
So the Okay. Okay. I just hope that I just really hope they don't do a whole like, hey, this person was actually this person kind of thing. I just hope they just simply just keep them just
I want Masters to be his own person.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
It's like I want him to take his hood off, and he's a normal. He looks like a normal person that you've never seen before. Like, yeah, what'd you expect?
I could be okay with the thing Speedy suggested where it's a version of Sora, not specifically Sora. Everyone is Sora, everyone else is Xehanort.
Or what if it's Braig, Zigbar?
And Sora. Maybe.
It's Lushu.
Yeah, what if it's Lushu? What if Lushu sent Lushu to go out?
No, he's just been one of the random NPCs around.
It's Sora's mom.
Oh no, not Lushu. It's.
She was tired of him not coming home for dinner.
No, he's Yang Sid.
I think Luxord was the one I was thinking of, actually.
Oh.
For the last
Yeah,
time,
we still don't have any.
spelled backwards is
We don't have information on Luxord. We don't have information on Demix. And those are the two. Those are the two that.
If it's fucking Demix, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Yeah, Freddy, we don't have any information on Luxord or Demix, right?
Imagine if it was Demix.
We 100% do not. We do have a vague thing with Luxord, though. There's a little bit of. First off, he was at the thing with It heavily implied that the taxi driver for the quote unquote you defeat Yuzora end in Hold on, I got it.
Yeah, the DLC of Remind.
Yeah, DLC of Remind. That they that might be Luxord. There is another thing too, if I could get to it. The characters in Dark Road specifically, which is the story of Xehanort's backstory, a lot of them are named after Norse characters from Norse mythology. And one of the ways that you could possibly spell Luxord's name without the X is Loder, who is a Norse god an early god of fire and wisdom and fertility, as he gave the first humans intelligence and wit, with his own name also meaning fire or the flaming in Old Norse. Loder also shares the title Firebringer with Loki, which may be his later incarnation due to being a fair of face and a trickster.
Loki.
It is possible that who he is might end up becoming relevant to Dark Road. Okay. We might find out Luxord there. Demix, on the other hand, we still don't know anything about. We don't know. His name does not neatly possibly spell out into anything Norse, so we can't guess at him being a Dark Road character. So, we don't know. He is the complete mystery.
To think some of this stuff, like obviously they made up some things here and there and whatnot, but to think some of this stuff still was thought up, brainstormed, like over a decade ago, and it's finally coming to fruition.
Fucking mad lads.
Just imagine being able to.
I wonder if they had to like ramp up what they were planning, because well, people are figuring out things too quickly. Well, guess we gotta go. Guess we need to go and go farther.
No, they even if people figure stuff out, they can still be like, "Congratulations, you won." They go at their own pace. Like they're like, "Yeah, good job, you guessed it right." Oh my god. Wait, is Nomura the master of masters? What if Nomura is a self-insert?
Oh my god.
Sideways comment here. A sideways comment here I want to say about the Master of Masters. Not necessarily too relevant, but his fucking theme. Despite the fact that it is a bunch of discordant chords and what sounds like someone slamming on a piano, fucking the composer lady, she somehow manages to make it fucking slap despite that. How did you play this song with only violins?
I played the piano.
Yes, that's what she's known for too. Oh my god. Yeah, basically that clearing. It's only complicated because the games are out of order. It just also it's complicated because there's so many games too. It's so many games. It's been going on for a while. It's not truly complicated. It's just if you just sit down and go one thing, it's yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. But Union Cross though.
Until Union Cross.
Yeah, Union Cross kind of starts going what the heck? It's becoming
unreality.
It's becoming
Unreality is the fucking upside down from Stranger Things. Oh no. We've done time travel and flip sides.
Are you guys ready for Kingdom Hearts 4 Kappa? Oh my god. Look, I was hoping the next Kingdom Hearts game is not going to be dealing with the Xehanort trilogy or the saga. I was hoping that it was basically okay, we're done with the Xehanort saga. Let's come up with a brand new story thingy. But this is evolving into just what is this? It's evolving into some weird thing.
How many times must we teach you this lesson, old man?
But who's the old man now, dog?
No, we have to stop teaching him this fucking lesson because we just keep mind-fucking young Xehanort over and over into doing the things that he does. We have to stop teaching him this goddamn lesson.
When does the circle of fate stop?
It never stops.
All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle.
All right, so do you think we finally finished the spoiler podcasting for Kingdom Hearts?
For Kingdom Hearts, yes. Now I'm a little sad that Otto's gone at this point, but now we can move to the second topic of the fucking 3-hour podcast.
Wait, there's more?
The absolute state of the MMO industry.
You want to deal with that?
Fruity? Let's leave it for the Let's leave it for the next one. I'm looking at the time. I'm like, it's 3:18. I need to finish up. I need to finish up. What's his name? So.
Artemis.
Artemis, yeah, or Arminus. Oh my god, you got me saying it wrong. Arminus.
Army got it.
Yeah, I guess you can go with that. Yeah. So, chat, are you guys, is your brains all right? Do you think you're gonna recover from all this?
Probably not, but we'll deal with it. I'm gonna go visit Rookie and Nick and see how they're doing. I'll see you later.
Okay. There we go. Oh, I hear the sound of sizzling food there. Whoops. Well, but yeah, we'll talk about that stuff when we do the Nintendo talk and whatnot. They just don't know if there's gonna be much to be talking about anyways, because like I said, COVID got in the way for a lot of things. So there's a good chance it's gonna be like showing off the next Smash Bros. Character. So there's that. There is that.
If it's okay, I'm.
Just go with a safe bet. Just go with a safe bet. Just go with a safe bet.
No, I'm gonna bring my hopes up. I'm gonna bring my hopes
Fruity,
up
no.
for Sora and Smash.
No, safe bet, Fruity. Gen 8 Pokemon. Gen 8 starter Pokemon. This goes safe one. Because look, here's the thing, Fruity. No, here's the thing, Fruity. There's one more character. There's one more character after this one. They're not going to end it with Pokemon.
Okay.
They can't end it with Pokemon. Okay, so I said when they can't, they could very well, and I can be like, what the heck are you thinking?
They can do whatever the hell they
Actually,
want.
there's that. Yes, you know what? There's that too.
At this point.
There's that too. They don't care. They don't need to care. Like there's going to be people will be salty for a fact. They'll for a fact people will be salty.
Allow me to make the circle to summon Sora.
Yeah, and also, I feel like, just to kind of tease around, I think in order for Sora to get in, they have to somehow make that tie into a story. Oh, hey! Now you also have to play Smash Bros. To figure out what happened with Sora.
You know what though? Like it can kind of work because he's in a world of fiction.
Yeah.
He got dissipated and reappeared in Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god. All right, let's see what I'm sending you guys out to.
It's just like, I'm just imagining just like, oh, the reveal trailer. It's just like, oh, hey, look at all this. It's a bunch of Kingdom Hearts stuff. Wait, hold on. Why is this on Nintendo? No, it's just like, oh, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Wait, what?
Oh my god.